Hey, hoser, it's Mabel in here, and I guess it's just me right now. Um, so we'll see if anyone decides to come in, but Doc needs wheels. Links in the description. Come on, people, we haven't had any anything uh put in the GoFundMe for a while now. So yeah, let's uh let's keep this show moving, and I don't know, go someone go tell like someone to get in and donate and all that stuff. Said I'm still waiting for people to come in. So yeah, but I said I'd keep it going, so I'll keep it going. I'm just gonna talk here and ramble at myself because there's nothing else going on. um. So yeah, but I figured, hey, if it's gonna die, at least let it die with me because I almost killed it the first time. What can I do here? Um, well, I guess I can try to be entertaining by doing something interesting. And by doing something interesting, I mean. Oh, someone come in. It's Silver.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, yay, it worked. Hi. Okay,
Hi.
so please forgive me in advance. Um, I streamed for 7 hours. I still haven't slept. And then
Oh
I
no.
went to Purple Stream and everyone else's stream, and I still haven't slept. So, hi. I'm a bit
Hi.
like crazy.
Oh, I know the feeling. Um,
I'm sleepy drunk. Hello,
yeah.
chat. How are we doing, chitty chat? Chatty, chitty. Wait, what am I saying? I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me chill this a little bit and see if anyone wants to come in. Let's see. I'm just gonna butter
She's
thing.
like, okay, somebody help. There's a crazy bitch on the other side of me.
Okay. Well,
Join.
at least there's. Well, no, there's two crazy bitches. Okay.
Oh God. I think we're gonna like try and like are we trying to get in the Guinness Book of World Records for like
I mean,
fundraising streams?
we could. Uh, we'd have to keep taking it for a really long time, but we could. Possible.
Oh shit. Yeah, I told Purple that I was after I get some sort of rest, whether that's a sleep or a sleep. Oh my god, whether that's a nap or actual sleep. I was heavily considering doing a dual stream and streaming both on YouTube and on Live Me, which is my normal place for streaming. Just to get like some fresh meat and like fresh eyeballs onto everything. And a lot of the people that follow me are like super sweet and very charitable people. Like they're people that actually have taken part in fundraisers and stuff like that before. So I'm hoping that some of them will be around when I get to that point, and maybe can get it to some new
Yeah.
people.
Well, I'm trying to, I'm trying to get to some new people, and other
Yeah,
stuff that, other circles that I run.
yeah, I know everybody's
So
been super active and like super sweet about like messaging it to people and trying to get it to other bigger names even and just
yeah,
have them at least retweet it and just stuff like that, which would be awesome.
yeah. Well, I went for something like 18 hours yesterday.
Yeah, I feel ya. I feel ya. The longest live stream I've ever done was I think 17 or 18
Oh,
hours, like
that's long.
consecutively. Yeah.
My previous
Um
record was like 7 hours.
my normal streams typically run well, usually 2 hours is like a short stream for me. Like my normal stream, yeah, my normal streams tend to run anywhere between 4 and 10 hours, depending on how I feel.
Okay, that's a little bit. We usually do. We usually do a 2-hour main stream on this channel, and then a 2-hour, and then usually a 1 or more hour after show where we have people, random people in,
Mhm.
and all that. So yeah, I think the longest we've done on this show is like 5.
That's still pretty long though, especially for YouTube.
Yeah,
It's really long. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why I was just like, whenever Angie, was asking around, I was like, sure, yeah, I'll, help out where I can, when I can, as long as, I'm all right, like health wise. Cause I mean, I'm used to doing marathon streams, so hey, why not?
yeah, yep. I was gonna do something else for the stream, but you popped in, and I wouldn't mind if someone else popped in, but it do. So
Come and join us, people. Enjoy the
yeah,
craziness with us. Be
that's
crazy with us.
yeah. Well, we can get Kaden in if he's
Oh
available.
God, you're yawning. Uh,
If we can get Kaden in and he's available, then this will be, you know, I can just go cook dinner while Nee is talking. I love Kaden though. So yeah, yeah. So but talks a whole lot.
I've heard. I've heard.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, we figured we'd do if we did another one, we'd do it on this.
awesome.
Just just so people know about this channel. So what we're supposed to do here is everyone is supposed to like this video and then subscribe to this channel, and then click the bell to get the notifications, because that's what you're supposed to say. And then everybody go and donate $100 to Doc Fearsome's fundraiser, and then we'll all be happy.
There you go. Yeah. Like, share, subscribe,
Oh yeah,
donate a
share
hundred
too.
dollars to Doc. Like
Yep,
we're
just
here.
just the normal stuff that we're supposed to do on these streams.
Yeah. Nuance nonsense. That's some good shit. So
Yep.
check it out, yo.
Yeah, we are doing gun control this week, and
I'm excited for that.
yeah,
Super excited. We actually talked a little bit about gun control toward the end of my stream, whenever Diana and Jen were there. And
okay, that makes sense.
that was a good conversation. Everybody
Yeah.
was like, whoa, how did this get so intellectual? What happened? And I was just like, well, I mean, I like intelligent conversation also. I realize I'm like the dirty bird and all that, but like I talk pink in politics. I like intelligent conversation, okay?
Okay, yeah, well, no, Jenny just talks about not choking on the selfie stick.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't spit out my Coke. I swallowed because I'm a trooper. Spitters or quitters, y'all.
Oh, it's raining again. It's really raining again.
I'm waiting for it to storm here. It's like black, and I'm just
We
like, well, okay, when's it gonna happen? Just hurry up and rain already, because like my neck hurts and my bones hurt. This sucks.
Yeah. Well, we had rain about quarter after 10 this morning, and then it's been raining on and off all day, but now it's starting to come down quite a bit again. I don't know. I'm inside for the day. It rained. It stopped really raining just enough for me to get to my doctor's appointment, get some groceries, and then come home.
Ah,
So
just long enough for you to do what you needed to do.
yep. Hang on a minute. I'm going to close my window.
Okay. If anyone in the chat has like a trank dart, feel free to shoot it at me. Okay? I give you permission.
Okay, now I'm not getting sprayed by random rain. Okay.
Woohoo!
All right.
Staying dry in the house. I told Chad if anybody has a trank dart, they can feel free to shoot it at me.
Yeah. If anyone has a pizza, they can deliver it to me. I had pizza yesterday.
Ooh, pizza. Yeah,
Any food, any
I
food.
I eat pizza too much. I have a huge pot of homemade potato soup that
Oh,
is amazing and delicious.
sounds good. I don't know why I'm so tired today, but whatever. Probably just because it's a bleak, rainy day. My
Yeah.
my doctor just still won't give me progesterone and is sending
What?
me to an endo, and the endo and there's no endo here, and it's like a year and a half waiting list. And I'm
Oh
like, this is
my
unacceptable.
God.
I want to try with her one more time. One
What
more
is
time.
her like, is there a specific issue that she has with the progesterone? Like, I don't understand. Well, I mean, I understand that doctors can be dicks and they just do that, but is there something specific that like a reason why she doesn't want to give it?
She doesn't think it'll do anything, even though I've given her, a study saying that yes, it will. From the
Yeah,
Journal
that's
of,
kind of up to you. Like,
yeah.
it's
Well,
not up
I'm gonna go
to.
back and I'm gonna say, if I was cis and I had this much progesterone in the system, you'd be prescribing me progesterone.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
other than that, everything went well. I got a prescription for physiotherapy, which I probably won't start until September or later, just because it's a money thing.
Mhm.
Or
Yeah.
I might look into it beforehand. Um, but yeah. Um, so yeah, then so I got that. Hopefully, maybe I'll be able to actually walk longer than 10 minutes without being in pain, without fucking painkillers. And yeah, we're starting the ball rolling on getting me referred to Dr. Wittenberg in San Francisco for surgery. So
Awesome.
that and yeah, I had to be a little specific with her. Like, oh, what kind of surgery is it? I'm like, penis preserving vaginoplasty is what they called it. Oh, okay. They and what is that? I'm like, it's a peritoneal pull through. Uh, and they're like, oh, they do that in Montreal. No, no, they're assholes in Montreal. You see, they won't do the penis preserving part. They won't do anything I want them to do. They don't even do it for trans guys, right? Like, like if
What?
you're a trans guy and you want to go to them and you don't want to hit, they will not do like a phalloplasty or I can't pronounce the
It's
medioplasty or
okay.
something like that.
Uh-huh.
They will not do genital surgery on a trans guy unless it also includes a hysterectomy, like the
What?
full deal. Um,
That's bullshit. That is
it
bull.
is bullshit.
What the
So
fuck?
I'm like, so yeah, this is how Montreal works. I'm not going there. This is
Why do
something
you have to
openly
have,
advertised.
right? Like, why on earth? I mean, I can understand it as a individual choice, but I not as a requirement. Why the fuck would you be required to remove organs? Like, unless they're cancerous or some shit, causing problems of some kind,
I
in
honestly
order
don't
to
know.
have a different surgery like that. What?
I honestly don't know, but that's what a trans guy I know from. the guy who runs the gender journey support group, or one of them, uh,
Uh-huh.
or at least one of the two facilitators. That's what he told me. It's like they won't do it. You have to go to the U.S. for that, and I'm like, oh fuck you.
That is, yeah, that's bullshit. I'm sorry that that's what you have to deal with because that is some bullshit.
Yeah, yeah. So
This is why I worry about my family members because I don't know what they're gonna have to go through by the time they're older. You know, like I have no idea.
well, things are
Um,
improving. I mean, like there's the fact that
yeah,
um there's the fact that there is a doctor who will do this for me in the first place.
yeah.
Right?
And then
So
there's the fact that like it more doctors and for that matter lay people actually know what things like intersex are,
yeah.
whereas I still remember having to explain this to people when I was in high school, and even up until like fairly like 2 years ago it was something I had to explain to people. Wait, what's that?
Yeah, really.
Now it's something that for the most
Yeah.
part everyone people have at the very least heard of it and they know the definition, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, well, if I'm non if I'm intersex, it's like that's completely irrelevant. It'd be
Yeah.
interesting to know if I am or not, but it's more the
Doesn't
non-binary
mean
thing.
that you haven't had the test because of the money aspect of it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, exactly. But it's like, and we're going on. Things are pointing towards me being intersex. Not I am absolutely 100% intersex. So yeah, there's that. But the thing is, like, it's more just a thing that like I'm non-binary, and that's
Yeah.
why I want this being intersex is relevant.
And the
I
visibility
want
for that, yeah. The
it's pretty
visibility for
bad.
that has, yeah. But it's grown.
It's
Like,
grown.
you know,
Yeah,
once
well,
again, like even last year, shit, you had a lot of people that, other than memes, they didn't really know much about it. It's just
including
kind of like,
including yours
uh,
truly. Even though I was and knew I was since I was 9,
the things
right?
you learn, and look where you are now.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, yeah. So that's why I talk about it all the time, basically.
Self
And
care.
yep. Oh, it looks like it's gonna rain for a while. Good, we need it. Yeah. So like when my doctor was diagnosing me with gender dysphoria, actually, I told her, I was completely truthful with her. I told
Hmm.
her how I experienced dysphoria, and she's like, "Are you non-binary? Do you just want blockers and not estrogen?" Of course, that
Oh
was after
wow.
people told me horrible things, and the fact is that I more want only estrogen and not blockers. um,
Yeah.
so I didn't. I neither confirmed nor denied it. I said I want estrogen and blockers. um, yeah, but now the last hurdle is just getting this. The last hurdle is I just need to get the um uh
Procedure.
I just need to get progesterone, and then I need
Oh, okay.
to,
Yeah.
yeah, do all that other stuff, and I will be absolutely great.
Yay. Well, hopefully the doctor will fucking sign off on that.
I'm getting referred to an internet endocrinologist, and I want to tell the endocrinologist
Yeah.
when I speak to this person, you're going to give me this, you're going to give me this in this amount, or I'm going to self medicate anyways, and then you're going to tell my doctor that it's my doctor's job to prescribe this and to handle it so that I don't have to keep going through you. And then we are and then that's good. Um, and it's either that or I'm going to self medicate.
Yeah,
so
pretty much.
so
Well, it happens in all other areas of medicine. You
yeah,
know,
she's
I
been
don't know
great.
why doctors don't listen more, but
She's been great for
oh,
everything else, but it, she's convinced it's not going to do anything, and I'm convinced it is going to do stuff. And
yeah,
you know, it's there's some risks with it, but the risks will put me at the same uh the risks will put me at the same risk for all of this stuff as this woman. So like, fuck off.
yeah. I was just gonna say your
It's like,
risk level is no greater than mine whenever I was on progesterone. So
yeah, or like, you know, anyone who can actually make this stuff who's a woman.
right.
So yeah,
And that is solely up to the individual. You know, it's like, do you consent to these possible risk factors? Yes, I do. Okay, here you go. Like that's
yeah,
generally how it works, kind of like before surgery. Hey,
yeah.
there's a possibility that you could like not wake up from anesthesia. Can you sign here, please? Yes, I will. Okay, thank you.
Hmm.
I mean, it's that easy.
Oh, there's a lot of risks with that surgery. Fortunately, the thing I'm doing is very minimally invasive. Yeah, very, very, very minimally invasive. So it's not going to really uh it's not going to really the risks are less.
Mhm.
Um, so it's there's still risks though, but I don't have diabetes or
That's good.
anything. I don't have
Yeah,
any health problems that should interfere with it. So you know,
right.
um, you know, he's done more than 80 of these. Uh, more invasive versions without having any problems. So
Awesome. That's definitely a good track record to have.
yeah,
80 with no problems. That's yeah, that's a good
yeah,
record.
and the surgeon I'm going to is high volume and only does GRS, right? So high volume specialists are the best because they do
Hmm.
pretty much only the same thing.
Yeah, which is kind of nice to have in,
Yeah.
well, any extreme specialized surgery. It's kind of like if you were going to have surgery on your spine, you would kind of want someone that pretty much does that all day, every day, because it's
Oh
your
yes.
spine. You know, you don't want to make a mistake there.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think of the other things to do in San Francisco other than go to the aircraft carrier.
San Francisco has so much. I mean, like, I want to go to San Francisco. If I had the money, um, I would totally go in September, for Folsom, because I've always wanted to go to Folsom. Yeah, that
For
would be good.
which?
Folsom, Street Pride Parade.
Sorry, you broke up a bit there.
Sorry, the Folsom Street Pride Parade.
Okay.
It's it's basically like the kink meets gay pride. It
Oh,
was originally the gay man's pride celebration, and then
okay.
over the years it turned into, well, it turned into Folsom. But yeah.
Yeah, okay, I see. Yeah, that's definitely not for me. um, but like I could, like, I have a few options. Schedule it for Pride Week. Like schedule it so that I can go to the parade and then have my operation. Do it in the winter. And make sure that I'll be around for a San Jose Montreal Canadiens game. The only way I'm going to see them play. I mean, it's always sold out in Toronto and Ottawa. when they play there. So that's an option. Another option is no, that's it. That's it.
Well, hey, those are good options. Anything that, is of interest to you that you would want to do there, that's always a good time to try and schedule it.
Yeah,
That way you get to enjoy something in the city that you're going to be in because you never know if you get to go there again.
yeah, exactly. Oh, I'll probably have to go there again. I know I will, but whatever. They'll like come back for checkup.
Mhm. Yeah. I've
Well, the
I've
thing,
sometimes been a bad patient about that. Like there were a few surgeries that I was definitely supposed to come back, and yeah, I didn't. I was just like, "We're done. Bye."
yeah. Well, normally I would be like that, right? I was gonna be like that because it's in a different country on the other side of the continent.
Yeah,
But I have a friend who would probably be willing to fly me there for free
yeah. You
because
mentioned that. That
yeah,
is that's
because
awesome.
and it's no skin off her nose. It's just we can hang out on the plane and chat because yeah, she lives in Toronto and I don't. And it's like no, it costs her nothing, right? So it's completely not anything that is an inconvenience on her.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's even more good because good people, and then hopefully cool event and surgery. Woo!
Yeah, she's a real good person. She is absolutely a real good.
That definitely helps to have good people around, especially when it comes to medical stuff. Just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, she's can't do much with the medical stuff, but she can at the very least get me to the medical stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah. Um, I guess no one and who, or at least no one wants to at this point. So yeah, I'm hoping that some random person from podcast or other random person who's wanted to be on Nuanced Nonsense decides to come in. But I don't know if anyone will. It's kind of a weird time for me. I'm usually getting home from work at this time.
Oh, wow.
I have Monday and Tuesday off now, so and hopefully in the near future it's Sunday, Monday. So yeah,
I always loved having Sundays and Mondays off when I was working. Like, I don't know why, but I hate Sunday with a burning passion. Like, I don't even know why. I cannot stand Sundays. I mean, it's not like I have school or work or church anymore. Like those aren't things, but I hate Sunday. Like the way the day feels. I can't explain it. It just gives me anxiety and I hate it. I hate Sundays.
Sunday's my favorite day now because I get to do my podcast.
Yeah.
But like, well, here's the deal, right? The because fucking people are still living 2,000 years ago when you get rocks thrown at you for working on a Sunday when it really should be the Saturday anyways because people are
Right.
stupid.
That was the
Um
Sabbath.
yeah. So like the buses start at 8 o'clock and I have to be at work at 8 o'clock. So I'm either late,
Oh no.
yeah, I'm either late or I'm walking and I can't walk right now. The other part of it is that I get there at about 20 after you to quarter after to 20 after usually. But then I'm out 15 minutes, and Saturdays usually our busiest night of the weeks. So like I have so much more work on Saturday, or sorry, on Sunday, than I would on say Wednesday. I could start at like I could start half an hour late on Tuesday, or on Wednesday rather, and
Mm.
I could start half an hour late on Wednesday, and it would be literally no skin off my nose. Right? I'd still have more than enough time to
Oh,
get everything I need done. Starting at
yeah.
that time on on Sunday is just a nightmare. So, and then the reason I'm starting late is because I have a bad leg. Well, two bad legs. Um, so yeah, now I'm hustling on trying to hustle as fast as I can on a couple of bad legs. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, that's no fun.
And then on Monday, whenever there's a holiday, we have the Sunday bus service on Monday as well, right? So we have the problem again of all of our we have the problem again of, I'm going to be 15 minutes late. 15 to 30 minutes late. And in here in Canada, we move all of our holidays to Monday
Mm.
except for Christmas, and I think Good Friday is the stat, not Easter Monday. Um, so yeah, with the exception of New Year, Christmas, and Boxing Day, it's always a Monday.
Weird. Things I did not know. I had no idea that Canada moved their holidays to Mondays,
Yep,
except for Christmas and Boxing
and New Year.
and New Year's.
Yeah, but it works because people still think the weekend is a thing, right? A lot of people get 3 day weekends from it.
I was just gonna say, yeah, it does work out in that regard. So I mean, that's awesome. Because
Yeah,
here, depending, if it falls on a, let's say, Saturday, well, I mean, you don't get an extra day. You're that's it. That's all you got.
yeah. Well, if it falls on a day that you're not normally working, you get a day's pay. Period.
Yeah, right.
Right? You get a day's pay plus time and a half if it falls on a day where you are working.
Depending on the company.
Oh,
Unfortunately, not every company does that anymore,
oh, well,
especially
okay.
now.
Okay, if it's a stat holiday, you get a time and a half. If it is if it's uh yeah, no, if it's a holiday, you get time and a half. Um if it's if you work on the day, you get a day plus time and a half. And that is how it works legally, at least here in Ontario. Employers have no like the employers have no
They
uh
can't opt out of that.
yeah, they don't have a choice.
That's awesome.
They don't have the choice. The government's like, nope, here's the like 1 month where there's no um here's the 1 month where there's no holiday. And I think it's like April or May or something like that in Ontario. And yeah, there's at least one holiday every other month, and two in December.
Nice.
So wait, I don't know what's in November. I don't think we have anything in November.
I was just gonna say, y'all don't have Thanksgiving, so I don't know what November would be.
Thanksgiving is the second Monday of October for us
That's right.
because yeah, it's kind of hard to have a harvest festival when there's a foot of snow on the ground.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah, okay, the rain stopped. But
Yay, no
it's
rain.
it's still like black, not black, but there's a really dark cloud above us. Did it stop? Yeah, it looks like it stopped, or it's like just spitting. That's
I
the
love whenever it still rains in literally one singular spot. Like there's still that one little rain cloud that just like is chilling.
yeah.
I love that. I don't know why, but ever since I was a kid and now as an adult, I just find it humorous. I like it. Occasionally it hovers over my house too. Like it'll rain over my house and it stops raining everywhere else. And I'm just like, hey, that thing people used to tell me that I have a dark cloud. They're right.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Our weather is so fucked up because like after oh, my leg is hurting. Like for the last 5 or a little over 5 years, like we have been getting horrible microbursts, like just flash storms that come out of nowhere, dump like 2 3 days of rain on us in like an hour, and then it goes back to being clear.
Mm. You know,
In
when I
instead
lived
of
in
having a nice
Lake
steady rain.
Charles, yeah, when I lived in Lake Charles, it was like that.
Yep, it wasn't like
It
that
rained every
before
day.
though. It wasn't like that before though. You know, you'd get a couple of days of a nice steady rain.
Hmm.
And then uh and then you would have you know, but it would be a nice steady rain. It wouldn't be an absolute downpour that just randomly stops 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
But gives you the amount of rain you would have gotten with it. So yeah, we're fucking up the world.
I was just gonna say, climate change. It's a bitch.
Yeah. Hmm.
I find it hilarious when whenever people start ranting about the immigration crisis because I'm just like, okay, yeah, you think there's problems now? Wait until these countries are no longer fucking habitable and everybody's trying to move to, fucking Canada and the US. I'm
Hmm.
just saying.
Yeah, well, Canada's actually getting hit by climate change the worst.
Yeah, but when you have places like, like oh shit, what's the name of that fucking brain? Come on. Okay, I can't remember. There's I want to say it's somewhere around Thailand. There's a place that's literally turning like they're having massive mudslides more than they've ever had before. And their entire village like has been destroyed several times over now.
Ew.
And their elevation level keeps going down due to all of the mudslides. So every time they rebuild, they get closer and closer to the water, which is a problem because they're literally losing land. So eventually it won't be habitable. Like there will be nowhere else for them to go.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, don't be on the East Coast.
Right.
Um,
Don't be on the coast, period. Like,
no,
stay away
no,
from the coast.
especially the East Coast. Because the Canary Islands are going to fracture and fall into the sea, and if they
Hmm.
go east, the tidal wave will be so bad that it will go like 100 miles inland. Tsunami will be so bad it'll go 100 miles inland.
Yeah.
Because you have instead of an earthquake, right? That's just causing tremors, and maybe a fault. Um, what you have is you have a you know, a square kilometer of island falling into the ocean and
Yeah.
then displacing all of that, and it whichever way it goes when that hits shore, whatever shore it hits is going to be, well, quite frankly, literally fucked. You can look it up. It's the Canary Islands
Mm.
that are going to go, because they're volcanic islands and they're like they're full of holes,
Yeah.
from the volcanism.
Like
So
Hawaii's facing a similar problem because they're well. because it's a volcanic island. But yeah,
Yeah, well, Hawaii
but
is
it's just a Chinese hoax. No biggie.
yeah. Well, Hawaii is a much more stable volcanic island, though. It's not, it's not in danger of breaking in half and falling into the ocean. Um,
True.
so and what was, um, and how this was discovered is in the Rockies in BC, right? There was a landslide that went down off a mountain and into a bay. And this is just, in a, just in an inland bay. There was a fishing boat in there, and the fishing boat ended up like 100, like 100 meters up on the side of the opposite side of the hill.
Oh my gosh.
And the people on it were terrified. You can see the pictures of the boat, way up the opposite side of the mountain, and that was just a landslide from a mountain.
I'd be
So
terrified too. Like,
yeah,
oh shit.
they've studied this. They've run the numbers. And they don't know when they study this. They run the numbers, and they don't know when it's going to happen. But if it goes, it's going to devastate everything. And if it goes towards the states, well, the
Hmm.
states, the maritime provinces, everything in that general, it's just going to be a big fuck you to everything in that general direction.
A big fuck you to everything in that direction.
Yeah,
Why?
yeah.
Okay. Why can't climate change just, affect Trump? Like,
I will say that that's not so much a climate change thing. That's more of a natural process. But it could be also be
yeah.
that pollution. It's a lime. I think it's actually limestone. A limestone
Aw.
island. So I think
Yeah.
that pollution might actually be accelerating the decay of the island. Limestone and volcanic and volcanic like pores. Okay, that's what it's made out
Mhm.
of. So pumice.
Uh, that's yeah. I was trying to think of the word too. I'm like, oh my god, I
Yeah.
know. I have one in my bathtub. What the fuck?
Yeah, you do not want to be in the way of that tidal wave, or tsunami or mega tsunami or whatever. It's the water equivalent of Yellowstone blowing.
Yeah. Hashtag ways I really don't want to die.
Yeah,
Like, I just want to die in my sleep.
yeah.
Okay.
Well,
No
I can think of
fire, no tsunami, no hurricane,
I can
no
think of a few
tornado.
ways I would like to go that aren't just in my sleep, but involve the word sleeping.
This is true. This is
But
very true.
yeah, all looks like things are improving that side. Um, yeah, I'm like really tired, and I don't know why. Oh, yeah, well.
Sometimes you're just tired, man. Sometimes you
People,
just get tired.
yep. People come in the stream.
Yeah, come join us, motherfuckers. What y'all doing? Bunch of voyeurists? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, come on, everybody. Oh, yeah, you know what? I didn't say, hey, ya hosers. Get into the stream here, ya hosers. If you don't get into the stream, then you're a double hoser, eh? um,
I want to go to Canada so bad.
um, yeah. I mean, we don't talk like that, obviously.
Yeah, I
Well, okay,
know.
no. If you want people who talk like that, go to Newfoundland.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's so true.
um. Okay, they don't really talk like that, but they. Uh.
It's closer. It's
It,
definitely close.
yeah, it's closer to Erie. They do have they do have the bit of the accent there. Uh, We are doing good, Angie. I just wish we had more people in here. So I didn't have to be as
Hey,
entertaining.
Angie.
I should do dance or something. Well, I was thinking, okay, what can I do with this, right? What can I do before you came in? My head deep in my Steam library, thinking, okay, can I do what can I do here? And then you come in, and I'm like, okay. So I didn't have to solo stream anything. I can do it from my computer. I just wanted to do it with. I just wanted to do Super Mario last time. I didn't
Woohoo.
get a chance to.
Aw.
Yeah, yeah, we're figuring out how to do stuff. We were looking into XSplit. It's going to cost us $1,200 to get an XSplit license that to do what we need it to do. So
Whoa.
yeah, that's disgusting. So we're not doing that. We looked into a bunch of other, similar things, and none of them do what we want them to do. Uh,
What are y'all trying to do?
excuse me. So what I want is for like our two screens, right? Right now we have like we have just what we're seeing on Zoom, right?
Right.
Um, so instead of having uh it arranged like that, I want to take each individual caller or camera or however you want to say it,
Mm-hmm.
each individual person, put them in their own box around the screen, so I can actually have some production value and some backgrounds and some other cool stuff, right? But I can't do that because if you're watching and someone is having internet problems or not, they'll and there's like six people in the call, they'll fall off and then come back in a different spot, and then I'll have to
Yeah.
go and rearrange all of the stuff. And the first time on our first show, I did that, and it took me like 10 minutes to get everybody where I wanted them. So I gave up on that, but I wouldn't mind some.
I think I actually remember that.
Yeah,
Because everybody was clicking it like on and off, and your spot kept moving, and then
yeah, yeah,
finally you were like, okay, now, okay, this is where I want to be. Okay, now click off and then come back in, and then the other person like clicked off and then showed up in a different spot. It was like a game of like checkers, like on screen.
yeah. Well, how I like to have it is with Johnny and I on top, right, and then everyone else below us, so that because then if I'm going in an order, I can do like me, then Jenny, then Kate and
Hmm.
Brittany, whoever else. So uh, so that's how I like doing it, and I don't want it to change. But there's no way I can. There's no way I can really change that either.
Does OBS let you do that? Because
OBS
you have
will.
so much other control, I would think that maybe you could control the format of who is where.
I can, and I did it on our first show with Caitlin Chloe. The problem is that um, the problem is it's not an OBS thing; it's a Zoom thing.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
so I could, can I? Yeah,
Zoom has some weird ways. It just randomly like selects boxes and is like, okay, you're gonna go over here.
yeah, yeah. It goes in order. No, it doesn't go in order because I should be on the other side. I have no idea.
Yeah, no, it's just very weird and random. Like it's very strange. The few times that I've like joined in on Zoom calls, I always laugh about like the setup because I never know what Zoom will do.
Yeah. I don't think Zoom has NDI, no. I should look for it, but I'm pretty sure that Zoom um I'm pretty sure that Zoom doesn't have NDI, which is what
Don't
we
know
will.
enough about Zoom.
Yeah. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna test something. I want to see what this.
Yeah.
Uh,
May's playing with my box.
I'm playing with mine. Well, I don't have one yet. Oh, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. That's scary.
Oh my god. Oh shit, that's trippy. That that is trippy.
Yeah. Okay, we're getting rid of that. Um. Yeah. I mean, someday I'll be able to play with my box, just not anytime soon.
we 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 gotta let May play with her box, man. Come on
Actually,
now.
hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Wait. No, I can't. I have no control over that. But I think I just figured out how people can choose their own image and stuff.
Oh no.
Maybe you might do it in video settings. I don't know.
Hmm, that would be cool if it lets you do it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's hmm. So I don't know. I'm just rambling on. Does anyone have any questions or anything for either of us, or anyone want to come in? That would be great.
Yes, enter the stream. You too can play with your box.
Everyone can play with their box on my stream.
Woohoo! Box party. Questions, comments, quirky opinions. I don't know.
Ask me questions. Ask me trans questions. This is the trans channel. Okay, it's not a trans channel. Get DM me on DM me on Twitter then, Critical Cripple, and I will give you a link.
Yay! Critical's gonna come. Yay! Critical's cool.
Was
Angie, no problem. Hey, I mean, this was your baby. I mean, you kind of kicked this whole thing off. So, thank you.
yeah, yeah. I said I'd keep it going for an hour, so I'll keep it going for an hour. So, um, yeah, I'll keep it going till 6.
Yeah. And, if nobody feels it after that, that's okay. We got to 48 hours, which is dope. And I'm still going to do my stream once I'm
Okay.
a little bit more of sound mind or something.
Oop, that's the wrong one. Okay, so that's that guy. Okay. I know who this is talking to me on Twitter.
On the Twitter.
Uh,
Critical
oh,
Cripple, we met on I think it was Purple stream.
okay. I don't know. He's just some person I'm following and is following me. on Twitter.
Yeah.
So,
That's yeah.
oh,
Uh,
I don't know where he came from. I guess I know now. It helps if I copy URL, not copy invitation.
I always do that, or not always, but I tried to do that last time. They're like, "Where's the link?" I'm like, "I already sent it. It's not working." Oh, never mind. Hold on.
Yeah, well, the first one I had the watch link, so I'm like, oh no, I need to change that. And then
That yeah, that's what I did.
yeah, and then there's two options in Zoom, right? There's copy URL and copy invitation, but invitation doesn't have a URL.
That's useful.
So it's like, no, that's not the join link. Here's the join link, which you should
My
have now.
goodness.
Okay.
And I'm anxious for Angie's stream. She wanted people to ask questions so that she could answer them in video, like a new video format that she's doing, or a
Okay.
new show rather. And anyway, I went ahead and just like okay, and I thought of a question. I posted it. I was the first person to post a question, and asked her what she thought of something to the effect of, "What do you think of the impact that social media has had on society?" Um, like your thoughts on that, and do you think that it's helped society for the better or for the worse, and
Well,
why? And she's like, "Thank you for the question. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give this some thought."
yeah.
But that was actually something I covered one day on a stream that I did. So I was just like, hmm.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Hello.
Right, can you actually hear me now?
Hey,
How are you doing?
Hello, knackered.
not good. Is that what you said?
Why is it echoing back to me?
Hey, what is going on? I don't know. I'm just super tired for some reason. It's not even because of yesterday. I'm just having a super tired day. I think it's just the weather and um I ate a big lunch. I'm gonna eat a tiny dinner at some point. I think I'm just
But I've lost them. You got Jaffa cakes.
sorry. Oh no, we don't have those. I don't think we have those.
You got
No.
like orange. You call it jelly?
Well, I had some like the grocery store sells it's a 6 pack of donuts and they're like it they're like a Boston cream except for instead of having chocolate on so like chocolate syrup on it, it has or dipped in chocolate or whatever, it has maple. Um, and
Ooh,
instead of just a normal Boston cream filling, it has a maple Boston cream filling. Or it's kind of like a maple whipped cream, heavy whipped cream filling, and they're just amazing. So I ate a bunch of those.
that
Uh,
sounds delicious.
oh,
And
they're
like
absolutely
that sounds
amazing.
like something I need to try in my life.
Oh yeah, they are really good. Um, they are freaking amazing.
Because I already
So
love Boston cream. Like it's the bomb. I
yeah,
love me some Boston cream. Mm.
Yeah, well, you can go to Tim Hortons and you can get a maple, a Canadian maple, which is a Boston cream with instead of it has the same filling in it, but instead of the chocolate on top, it just has a maple icing or whatever. They have a chocolate
Mm,
one, and those are really good. But this has like a maple filling too, so
interesting.
it's like better. It's like the better than the American version. um, yeah, and it yeah, it's a Tim Hortons thing, I think. So
I used to have a friend that was obsessed with maple logs. She loved maple logs.
okay,
And I'm just like, you do realize I have like, other than your description, I have no idea what you're talking about. I've never had one of these things.
yeah,
What? Oh my God. Fucking Americans, you need a maple log. I'm like, I don't know where to find one. The
uh,
only time I ever found a maple log was, I can't remember what damn store it was, but I went to some bougie store and they had, quote, maple logs, but all it was just, it was just a prepackaged, like, junk food snack. Like, it was basically like, little, like, the little Debbie cake things.
yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah, it was basically like that, which
Mhm.
was not at all what she was describing to me in any shape, form, or fashion.
Yeah, I actually don't know
Um,
what a maple log is.
I'm not too sure either. It's
we
been a
we don't
long
have them
time,
here. We don't have them
but
here, I guess.
okay. But she said there is like a really large, like very large, um, type of almost cake, but thicker, and it's made with a lot of maple syrup and chocolate,
Okay,
and
that
it
sounds good.
sounds awesome. Yeah, like the whole thing is just like covered in chocolate.
Okay, yeah, I like Nanaimo bars better. I actually have a friend. Actually, it's Nikki. She was on my last show. Her parents own a maple farm. Like
Nice.
they own their own maple farm. They tap trees and everything. Um, Maple cotton candy
Oh,
is like amazing.
cool. Neat.
I buy my maple syrup straight from her when I buy it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and actually, uh, the um, the most interesting thing I ever did with it is I had maple glazed steak with it, or I used it for maple glazed steak. That was good.
Ooh, that does sound good.
Yeah,
Damn. Maple glazed steak. Oh, hell yeah. Especially like the good cuts. Oh,
yeah, and the good syrup. Like their syrup is like absolute. Yeah, I got the dark stuff, and ooh, yes. Oh
Hello.
yes. Hey.
hello?
Did that work?
Yes, we can
Yeah.
hear you. Ah,
That's better.
audio. Yay.
Okay.
Yeah. What's going on?
Oh, it was being screwy because the sound wasn't working through OBS. It
Oh.
just wouldn't use it. So I had to go with mic direct, and I'm slightly worried it's not going to be able to sync with me.
Okay, I'm not even looking at that anyways. I'm looking at my broadcaster screen or my YouTube screen so I can see the chat.
Yeah.
So, oh, okay, I have an idea of what's
Alrighty.
going on. Yeah, you have to open Zoom before you open OBS every time.
Oh, I've had OBS open the entire time.
Oh, okay. OBS hates me then.
Oh, the video bit worked, although it didn't work straight away.
Okay.
When I came in blank. But as soon as I was in the video, I got the video stream to connect to the virtual cam, but still no audio.
Oh, virtual. Okay, I see. I see.
Just mostly means I can hide a bit in my room.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta pop this out and
So okay, you like talking about these subject matters. So I have a question for you, Ray.
sure.
I thought of a question. Okay. So in your opinion, what do you think is the biggest misconception about non-binary people?
Ooh, about non-binary people. Um, that is an interesting one because no one really knows anything about us. So, the biggest misconception.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there one that I find relevant, or one that's relevant to me, and that a lot of people get wrong is that, um, and this comes from me, saying like going on about my non-binary girl dick, um,
I still
but
love it
like
when you say that.
or even I generally tend to pull myself bi because I'm very much I'm or sorry call myself a lesbian because I'm very much I'm very much only romantically attracted to feminine presenting people.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll say I'm gyno-romantic. That's probably the best way to describe it in something like this. So I often call myself a lesbian, and the thing I get is, well, the most recent one, but I get stuff like this all the time. Is how can you have a non-binary girl dick if you are non-binary? Don't you and don't identify as either male or female, right? And I'm like, okay,
Oh,
um,
what?
actually,
What?
I'm bigender, so
Yeah.
I identify as both a man and a woman, just more a woman. I usually present
Right.
as a woman, so yeah, it's like being non-binary is simply not exclusively identifying as one of the binary genders.
Right.
And because I identify as both, I'm non-binary because
Right.
I don't exclusively identify as one gender or another. I identify as two genders. Uh, so I also have it. I also do the nerd thing. I get nerdy with it. Uh, and I say that I'm super binary. Um, making a reference to my gender being a quantum superposition.
Yeah.
So I've kind of jokingly said that as well.
The question is, do you know which way it's going to go at any one time?
It's always both. Like I'm
Oh, it's better.
I don't like I'm not gender fluid. My gender doesn't change. Uh, you know, like I changed my presentation like what 3 times yesterday.
That was funny. She kept changing her clothes and coming back every time she left the stream. It was
Yeah, well, not
hilarious.
Do you
every
not?
time, but a few times.
Do you not feel more inclined to dress or present one way or the other at different
uh,
times?
it's like the difference between wearing this shirt and any other shirt, right? So, why am I wearing this shirt and not a purple shirt? Why am I wearing this shirt and not, like a button-up men's shirt? Um, it's because this is what I looked at and I decided I wanted to wear today. But
Hmm.
that's just how I dress. Now have been presenting more, as a woman, since I've come out because I have like 34 years of catching up on doing that with, right? A way I like to say it is that if presenting as as a man and a woman are the same as wearing a men's shirt and a woman's shirt to me, and it really is. Then the men's shirt is tattered, ratty, worn out. It stinks. It needs to be washed. I'm gonna wear the woman's shirt for a little while. Just it's new. It's new. It's
Right.
clean.
If
It's
that makes
fresh,
sense. That makes
right?
sense.
So, um, but yeah, I do legitimately have white days. But it's I don't feel in like anything other than preference, I don't feel inclined to present one way or the other.
That's all I can see. So, what do you want?
I would definitely actually agree that is a huge misconception, because your situation and like the way that you've described yourself from the time that we met is actually pretty much the uh, the larger demographic of people that I know who identify as non-binary are pretty much all in the same boat. They're just like, no, I'm like this all the time. Like
Okay, yeah, yeah.
my presentation changes, the way I feel about my gender and my gender, they don't change. Like this, like I just my clothes change. Sometimes I change, the way that I want to style myself. But other than that, that's about it.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
And I get a lot of people asking questions, whether they're directed at me or they're directed at my friends, asking questions in a
sure.
completely different route of, well, almost as if, okay, either number one, they're confusing it with like literally a gender, like they think that they don't identify as any gender whatsoever,
Yeah.
or they get mixed up and think that if they say the words non-binary, that must mean they are gender fluid.
Yeah, they must mean, or that you can't at least partially in some way identify as a,
Mm-hmm.
a man or a woman. You have to identify as not man and not woman.
Right.
Yeah, I had my name, I had my Twitter name for a while as Schrodinger's queer, so wanting to
I
chat.
remember that.
uh, so so yeah, well, I mean, like, there's a bunch of different, there are a lot of different. The thing with non-binary people is that you ask five non-binary people something. If you ask five non-binary people the same question, you would get
Five
five
different
different
answers.
answers,
Yeah.
right? Like, I'll give you a different answer from what Caden would give you, and Caden will give you a different answer from what Brittany will give you. And have I had any other long-running non-binary people? And any other two non-binary people will give you different answers, and we all have different identities, right? Caden is agender. Brittany is, I guess, androgyny, gender fluid, demigirl. I think she said. Um, uh, so um, so yeah, and when we're talking about the a lot of things with binary people, especially binary trans people, you can tell that there's a difference in what we're saying. Right, if you watch our two non-binary our two very non-binary heavy shows on our channel, you can get a really good handle on what on just just how different my experience is from, say, Jenny's.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
So things that would make her, like, you know extremely dysphoric are very
Mm-hmm.
much are euphoric to me as far as gender goes, right? So
Right.
um it's there's a lot of there's a lot of there it's everyone's individual experience, basically.
There's a lot
um
of nuance.
yes, there is a lot of nuance.
There's
Hi,
a lot of
Tony.
nuance.
Yeah, we're still at it. So
Tony. Hello.
yeah, there is some more, there is some more, another answer to your question is, that non-binary people are confused, or mentally ill or something like that. You know,
Yeah.
to the less flattering ones, like, I was never, I have been less confused about my gender than most, like I won't say confused, but like I've never questioned anything, right? It's just like
Mhm.
I just knew. I knew I was not I knew I was bigender before the word bigender even existed. Um
Right.
I knew it before the word non-binary existed. I knew it before the precursor to non-binary genderqueer existed.
Mhm.
Right? I knew it around 1993, and it was 2 years before genderqueer was termed or coined, and another few years before non-binary was coined, and bigender was coined in like 2010.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, but I was never confused by it. What did confuse me was I thought I was just a normal trans woman that was binary, basically, and then other
Yeah.
trans women confused me. Like I know who it,
Right.
but what are you what are you what why does this bother you so much? It doesn't bother me. I don't get it. um so yeah. And of course, do I seem mentally ill? Like, does Brittany seem mentally ill? Does Caden seem mentally ill? No, none of us are mentally ill, right? So
It's a very I love hearing about everyone's unique individual experience and stories and what, what everyone's been through, how everyone came to realize or whenever they had the words to form what it was that they felt.
yeah, exactly. And I just did. It was like a light switch turning on one day. It's like, oh, okay, I'm like this. I had, you know, I don't know, it just turned on one day. Um and I knew I was both a boy and a girl.
I feel like
So,
unfortunately the non-binary it gets like whenever you were talking about the group of people that are just like, oh, they're just confused or they're mentally ill type of
yeah.
thing. I feel like it's like an offshoot of the same exact people that said the same thing about bisexual people
Yep.
when that was a thing, and they're just like, no, you're either gay or you're straight, and if you're bi, you're just confused. You're just confused, honey. And it's like, I'm not confused. I fuck both. Go away.
Yeah,
I love
exactly.
both. I want both. Leave me alone.
Yes, very much. Um yeah, exactly. That's pretty much. Well, there are those, and then there are other people. That usually comes more from LGBT people and like LGBT people more than it comes from more than it comes from like actually transmisic or homomisic people.
Hmm.
Like it's they
Towards
would just
bi,
say no, you're evil.
towards
Yeah.
bi men tend to get it. If you're bi, you're gay.
Yeah,
From
and I
like,
hate that. I
Oh,
I absolutely that is a stereotype that very much still exists, and I think it's disgusting and abhorrent, and I hate it. I
mm,
yeah,
love bi.
and by there's the whole gold star lesbian thing.
Yeah.
And then there's someone actually posted this a few days ago, and said, if you're if you're a bisexual woman and you can see yourself marrying a man, you're not bisexual, you're straight.
Yeah,
Quote
fuck
this Twitter
you. I hate when
quote this
people
tweet.
do that. I was with a man for 13 years, and that man recognized that I was bi, so much so that he understood that I was not going to marry him until it was legal for me to marry if he were a woman, because that's just
Okay.
how it was. Like I wasn't going to let the gender of my partner dictate whether or not my marriage was quote real. Like for me personally, I hated it.
Yeah.
So it was something he got. He totally understood it. We were on the same page, but like I didn't stop being bi for 13 years.
No.
I just, I just was with a man that I loved. That's
No,
it.
I was with a for regardless of whatever you want to call my gender when I was, in my early to mid teens, like
Bless
I was with a guy first.
you.
So yeah, I don't know where haters would put that. I don't know where haters would put that because there's a you know like
Yeah, I think the
uh
haters would be too confused by that. It would be one of those things that like makes their head explode and they just
yeah,
go, "Nope, I hate it. It doesn't exist because I can't understand it. And if I can't understand it, I
right.
can't make fun of it. Fuck off." Like like it's
Uh,
so confusing, they can't even joke about it. So they just don't bother.
yeah, exactly. Like yeah, I have confused some haters a little bit with being like with trolling them with my gender. But
You?
I
No.
no, I would
Never.
never do that.
Never.
I would, and I would never troll True Scum by you know by just being like, yep, I'm a dude, I'm also a woman, and stuff like that. It hurts their heads sometimes. It hurts their heads. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, like a certain person who is very my so I'm going to call this person slightly controversial, but we were on a podcast with her, Jenny and I, not on our channel. Um, I won't go much further than that, but
Hmm.
she's trans as well. She's pretty conservative, and I just like, and she's a true scum. I just bake her brain because like, yeah, I'm dysphoric, but I'm not very dysphoric. Um, and it's not the reason I'm transitioning. So like it's not the primary motivator for me transitioning, and she's actually tried to question whether or not I'm trans because my dysphoria is not the reason I'm transitioning. um so yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, I really hate I really hate stuff like that too. Like I really hate true scum so much. Like you don't have the right to police who's trans and who's not trans. Actually, that brings up another thing. Um,
I was just gonna say that's literally a thing. Good.
oh, okay, no, that's what that is. It's not, boys. It's not by Phil's time. I have to remember to take those. Okay. Um. So yeah, like, um, I have I have the I have the rule that you never tell people what their gender or sexuality should be labeled as. Just acceptable.
Mhm.
Um,
Yep.
which has put me at odds with a couple of people who we all know because I don't like people questioning whether or not they who shall not be named is trans. Because a
Right.
lot of the arguments that people have used, you know, against they who shall not be named being trans are easily used against me. And
Right.
I'm
And there
very much definitely trans. So even if I won't even entertain that. Um,
yeah. Well,
and
and
if
there are arguments that just in general are used to for no other purpose than to dehumanize other people, period.
yeah,
So, and like I said last night, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That person that is not relevant to the conversation.
no, and another tweet that I come across that really really burned me was someone saying and this is from an actual full-fledged horrible true scum. It was from a Twitter account that probably doesn't exist anymore. The trans community probably got this one flagged off Twitter real quick because they kept saying like extremely hateful things towards non-binary people. And their first assumption is that non-binary people don't have dysphoria, or if you do have dysphoria, you're just trans and not non-binary. I don't know what they're thinking about that, but they said non-binary people need to stop stealing hormones and surgery away from actual trans people.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, that's like on the level of okay, yeah. I damn.
They
I've
don't
heard
feel
some shit
special
very
enough.
similar to that.
Eh?
So if they don't feel special enough to be inclusive, they want to be their thing.
Yeah, I'm not like them, so I don't get. So
Yeah.
I don't. But here's here's what I said to them. Right, more cis people use the hormones that we take
Mhm.
than trans people.
Mhm.
Like they are more used for cis people than for trans people, even though the overwhelming majority of trans people are on these hormones.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, and then and then yeah, it's just that just burned my bottom. So
Yeah.
yeah, there was another one.
That's just born out of complete and total ignorance. And well, that and obviously they don't want their thunder stolen. You know, it's like you're stealing my thunder. Damn it, non-binary people, stop stealing my thunder.
I
This is my special
actually
moment.
I'm no wrong
no.
in saying that this is more modern as well. That the early trans people, the early people that transitioned, seem a lot more.
Binary.
Happy?
And happy might be, but a lot more relaxed about it.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that had to fight for it.
Oh, okay. This is actually something. This is actually kind of not necessarily true. Jenny
Well,
would.
that's why I wasn't sure. But my contact with it has been from people in the early '80s.
Yeah.
Um, there's a YouTuber.
Yeah. I wish Jenny.
He died. She died. Shit. Um, she was an
Oh.
engineer. She did. Oh, she was a good friend of Big Clive, and she died. She did arcade machines, and she was like the first or second person in New York
Okay.
to transition really early.
Mm.
And I wish I could remember her name. And she was so down to earth about it. That is probably the best way to describe it. And she had to fight for everything.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people. I didn't have to. Well, I would have had to fight if I tried. If I. The first time I tried to transition, this was in 2005, or maybe 2006. It was when I lived in Toronto. When I lived in Toronto from 2005 to 2008. Um, but or was it either way? No, I lived in 2005 to 2007, not 2008. So it was either in 2005 or 2006. Um, and there was a lot of gatekeeping, and I looked at the gatekeeping, and the gate kept me out, right? And I wish Jenny was here because she understands this because she went through it. To get hormones like I did last December, I went to my doctor and said, "Give me hormones," and she said, "Do you have dysphoria?" And I said, "Yes," and then she said, "Okay, here you go."
Yeah.
That's the short version, but it did not take me very long. Um, so the there was a lot of gatekeeping, and there still is in some places, right?
Mhm.
There's a lot of bullshit that you have to go through um to get on hormones. Like many places still have the real life test, and that's the part that like completely. I'm just like,
Yeah.
what is this supposed to mean, right? Um,
I know people that have like just well, I'm not giving out anyone's name. I know people that, let's just say, they could not, like, for the sake of their own health, they could not be completely honest with their doctors.
Yeah, yeah. But there's like a real life test thing, right? Where you basically live
You
as your
live,
gender or
yeah,
whatever for a year, and it's like I
yeah,
basically already am. I just need to change my body,
exactly.
right? Like I didn't know. I wasn't didn't understand nearly as much as I did because there wasn't nearly as much information out there. Um, and I was a lot younger. So yeah, that and a transphobic doctor kept me from transitioning for 14 years. But the gatekeeping that some people have had to go through, especially anyone who's non-binary, and especially anyone who isn't, you were expected to come out of transition as you were expected. If you wanted to transition, you were expected to want to be basically be a cis woman, or sorry,
Hmm.
a cis heterosexual woman.
I thought it was in those.
Two, you were expected to have bottom surgery, the normal bottom surgery. And in some case, I know someone who was coerced into having the normal bottom into having bottom surgery.
Oh my god.
Against her will.
Wait, what's
Uh,
bottom surgery?
Gender reassignment surgery.
Oh,
Changing the bits
sorry.
downstairs.
I thought you were referring specifically to the bottom, not to.
Well, the bottom parts, anyways.
No, no.
Um.
Anyway, bum implants. Something like
So
that.
yeah. Well, you have top surgery, which is what's going on up here, right? Um. So you have so you have all this gatekeeping, and there's a lot of there's a lot of trans lesbians. There's a lot of trans
Yes.
for bisexual people are overrepresented in the trans community, especially for trans women.
But
Um,
Yeah.
I don't think. Okay, being every study in the last 30 years has said that bi is the normal. That virtually nobody
Hmm.
is straight or gay.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
like
five
most
percent.
people, right? Most people are
Is
Okay.
100%, right?
It's
And it's people. It's like the atheist community. Bi is very overrepresented too. It's people that don't fit the norm, question,
okay.
and
It's
accept that about themselves. If that makes
the
sense.
the Kinsey study showed that 40% of people identify as not a 1 or a 5 on the Kinsey scale. Sorry, not a 0 or a 5 on the Kinsey scale. Um, but in this case, we're talking about the three, the 2, 3, and 4s. Um,
Yeah.
it would be like something like 60% of trans women are basically a 2, 3, or 4 on the Kinsey scale, as opposed to like a 1 or a 4 or a 1 or a 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a whole lot of uh like very bisexual people or pansexual people, if you will, in the uh for a trans woman, right? A lot bisexuality is overrepresented in the trans community, basically. um and or at least for how people identify. There are, of course, strictly straight and lesbian um trans people, but they are the minority, even if you combine them. So there's that, and then there's a lot of even among the binary trans people, there's a lot of very gender non-conforming binary trans people too, right? Um,
Yeah.
you know, basically, the whole androgynous lesbian culture
Right.
stuff that you see with cis woman. It would be considered okay if a cis woman did it, but not if a trans woman did it, basically,
Hmm.
because you have to be high femme you're expected to be high femme and straight and want bottom surgery. You know, and people have had to go in and just lie to the and just lie through their teeth and fake it until they make it, and that's just not something I'm willing to do. Um, Fortunately, I don't have to, so that is a good thing.
Yes.
But I do have to go and get a psychiatrist and a mental health professional and a doctor's note for my surgery. But we're going to see if we can get an exemption for the psychiatrist, because that's not something that is really usually required here in Canada, but it's required a lot more in the States. So we're going to see if we can bypass that. It's like GRS Montreal will give me a surgery. You know, with what I have, this is kind of our thing. I'll have to go out of town to get this. So I'll have to go to Toronto to see a psychiatrist who's qualified to give you the letter you want, and I'll probably have to pay for it. So
That's lovely. All for something that a stranger that doesn't know anything about you so that they can make a very quick assessment in like 10 minutes so
yeah,
that they can or cannot give you a doctor's note.
yeah, exactly. Well,
Like
it's
there's
it's
a
it's
reason that it exists in the States in the format that it exists.
well, we
So
changed. It existed in
to
the same
accept,
format. It existed in the same format here. We
mhm.
just changed the format.
Right. Yeah, it got updated.
Yeah.
But then there's
Actually,
a project done.
the reason I don't need GRS to change my gender markers, like on my birth certificate and stuff, is because someone launched a human rights complaint against the government and said, "No, this is wrong. You know, you shouldn't have to have GRS. Not even everyone who wants it can get it. You know, I know someone who would not get it because she was diabetic, and there could be extremely bad complications if you're diabetic and you have GRS, or any surgery like that, really.
Yeah.
So she refuses to have it. The most she's had is an orchie. But um uh so there's a lot of people who are very binary like that who can't have it, even, who have said, no, this is wrong, we should be able to change our gender markers. So they basically eventually just said, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
um yeah, the only reason I haven't changed my name and gender marker is because I lost my okay, so our system for changing this stuff is absolutely stupid. It's like fucking just it's just bureaucrat. It's just the worst way of bureaucracy. So, we have to send in all of our we can't do anything until we change our birth certificate. Once we change our birth certificate, once we change our birth certificate, then everything else is really easy to change. Um, Now the birth certificate is actually very easy to change, but the thing is it costs. The thing is that you have to send the copy that you have back to make any changes,
What?
right? Yeah, you have to send it back to them to make the change. You have to send all copies that currently exist back. So if you, like I have, if you've lost your birth
I was
certificate,
just gonna say, you know how many
you
people
you
don't
have
have
to
a birth certificate?
you
I've had
have
to
to
order mine half a dozen times.
yeah, you have to order a new one first as a replacement, right? Get the new one.
Oh shit.
That will cost me $95. You have to do that. Then you have to do the gender and name change ones and send that back with another about $150.
Oh my gosh.
So it's going to cost me like $250 to change this. I'm just going to reopen my window. So just give me a second. It went from raining. It went from hot. Or it went from decent to raining to it's starting to warm. Hang on a minute.
The weather can't make up its mind.
Okay, sorry about that. I just need. Oh, that's a little. That's a little silly. I swear. I swear. The next person who goes on about trans women being stronger than cis women, I'm gonna slap them, and it's not gonna hurt them because I am weak as shit now, and I'm only on 8 months. So
Oh my gosh. I stopped. Well, that's one of many. I have 1,000, but that's one reason that I stopped following anyone having that conversation in any capacity because my brain fucking could not take it anymore. I
oh
was just
yeah,
like, the stupid, there's too much. Like I can't. Nope, nope, nope,
The
nope.
problem is,
And
it's
more nope.
mostly it's opinion.
yeah. Well, let me
That
let.
it's not even that there's not a debate to be had, but there's just not a debate to be had publicly because not it's not going to solve anything.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah. Well. Let me tell you. Okay. I had to. I struggled to open my bloody window. Oh, just now. Okay. I was like, okay, I need to actually put muscle behind this. Where before I would have done it with one finger. And I'm a janitor at a bingo hall. I used to just be able to big giant bags full of recycling, hey, like recycled bingo cards and all that. Just throw it in throw it in the
But
bin. Now I'm like,
it may.
now I'm like struggling with both hands to get this shit out of the bin and
But
into the
Nate,
other bin.
you're not addressing the real. I'm being facetious with air quotes. The the
Yes.
real the real question, which is the fact that any any advantage,
Mm.
even if it's a disadvantage, is an advantage. What
Yep.
about that, May? Like the stupid. I can't when someone tweets, but the advantage, even if it's a disadvantage, is an advantage. I don't know what to do with you.
Did someone actually
Like
say that?
yes,
Yeah, I've seen that repeatedly.
yes. People have actually said that and tweeted that. That's a thing. Yeah. I know, right? Your brain cells, they hurt.
I will invite, and actually Rachel McKinnon has said the same thing. I will invite any cis dude who thinks that who thinks that way. I will invite them to come on HRT with me. They don't have. They can. They don't
Yeah.
have to. They don't have to like. Um. They don't have to. Present female. They can get a double
Right.
mastectomy if they want. I don't know why anyone would want that. But they can do it if they want.
Just take the hormone just for a little bit and
No,
then
take it for
come
three
back.
years. Take it for 3 years.
Yes.
Now here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm not always, super happy about saying this, because people could use it to invalidate me. But I don't like taking testosterone blockers. I know my testosterone is too low. I feel it now, right? My
Mhm.
testosterone should, my testosterone is extremely low. The average cis woman has about 0.87 nanomoles per liter of blood. I have
Mhm.
zero point 0.4 on my last blood test. Like it has hit the floor.
Mm.
And it is way too low. I am not comfortable with this. I need to have it because testosterone, stops feminization.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that after I'm done, getting what I can out of the second half of my puberty, as I call it,
Mhm.
um, I can kind of have a phase three where I get my testosterone and estrogen into a nice equilibrium where I feel comfortable
Right.
with.
Mhm.
Um,
Makes sense.
but for now, I have to deal with too much the opposite direction. It's still better than before I was on hormones. I can tell you that much. And anyone who knows me will tell you that much too. But um, but yeah, it's like yeah, my testosterone is too. So I know some of the stuff, that a fully binary cis dude will go through. Probably even worse. You know, I know what that person. I know a little bit about what that person will go through. I doubt they would. I doubt they would be able to stay on it longer than a year.
Yeah.
I doubt they
I
would be able to stay on it
I don't
longer
even
than
think
six
they would make
months.
it that long. I don't even think they would make it 6 months. I'm telling you, like 3 months, they would be climbing the goddamn wall of insanity. I don't even like no.
It would be. They would be miserable. They would. So a
Mhm.
lot of cis men on this would be miserable. I can tell you that much.
Oh yeah. They would get depressed. They would. I mean, it would be bad. Shit, it could be a detriment to their literally to their health because their mental health might get so bad. But I mean, it's
Yeah,
not a joke.
they would
Like
feel.
they
They
can
would
laugh all they
feel.
want. It's not a joke.
They would probably feel a lot like how a trans guy would feel without being
Mhm.
masculizing
Mhm.
masculinizing.
Then that's
So
kind of why I was like, why I switched what I was saying. I was like, you probably actually have to not do that for their own mental health. Like,
yeah,
it could be dangerous. Like, because they would start to be dysphoric in a way.
yeah,
You
they
know,
would get a lot of the mental dysphoria, not a lot of the. It would take a long time for
right?
them to get the, and they wouldn't have to worry about hair
But
and
the
stuff like
mental thing is
that.
kind of what matters, at least to me, because to me and like what I see
Oh,
around me,
I
that's
start.
the
I
aspect that so many people don't seem to understand or ever take into account.
Yeah, I didn't.
You know what I mean?
I went on hormones so for no reason other than to change my appearance. And then the first thing that hit me was the mental changes, and
Yeah.
just everything in my brain was better.
Mhm.
Like literally, literally everything that um that my brain did just made me feel a whole lot better. Like
Right.
it was within a couple of weeks, to be honest. So
Wow.
yeah, like yeah, I just felt better. I just felt entirely better.
Yeah.
Just so much better than I ever have. And that's just, and there are people who will try to say like, it's, oh, you're finally on the you're finally on the hormones, your life is in your hands, and you're getting and all that. It wasn't that, right? I
Mhm.
know this is going to take, oh well, I thought this was going to take years, but it's apparently doing a little bit better job than it's supposed than I it's apparently taking hold a little quicker than we thought it would.
Yeah.
But like, for my um but it's like, it's not that, because I had no expectations of anything happening for a year.
Right.
So it was just like, oh wow, this is doing a world of good for what's going on inside my brain.
Yeah. I see that happen a lot, and it's something that, like I said, I see a lot of people overlooking, especially cis people that are either trying to understand it or they don't give a shit to understand it. Either one.
Yeah,
I see a lot of people just completely overlook the mental aspect of it and not give it the credence it deserves.
that's because people just think, oh, I don't like my body, I need to that's because people think that being trans
Right.
is just like,
And
oh,
that's
I
not
don't
what
like
it's
my
about.
body, I need to change it. It's that,
Right.
there's
This isn't
strong
a wig
evidence.
job.
No,
Like,
there is strong evidence. There is evidence strongly, pointing that that it's a brain thing, right? That
yeah, it's
you
very
know,
neurological.
I likely have a brain that has a structure. I would. This is a conjecture, but I would probably guess that my brain has a lot of a lot of the structure, and I would say it's probably very androgynous in a way that it has a lot of both male and female features in it.
Mm.
Uh, and my dysphoria that's causing me is what's driving me to want to change my body. Um, so or it's part of that. It's not the whole. It's not the entire reason. It might have been the entire reason when I was like 12 if I did this then, which would have been actually very
Right.
bad for me. But as I've grown and matured, it's kind of taken a back seat to this is who I am. This is who I need to be. It's not so much that I'm uncomfortable with my body anymore. It's that, this is something that I have tried to do once and have been trying and have been wanting to do since for the last 25 years.
Yeah.
So, almost 26 years. Um, I think it was probably in October when I first figured that out. Thinking of stuff. So yeah, like but like it's all 100% in my head,
Hmm.
literally in my head, in my brain. It's
Yeah. To reduce
Doctor.
it down to body parts is it's diluting it to something that it's just that's just not it. Like it's part of it, but that's not it. That's not what's going on.
Yeah, and actually there's a she's a biochemist, a PhD biochemist, and she's trans. Her name is Zje. I don't know how to pronounce that. G. Um, and she actually wrote an essay saying that gender identity is biochemical in nature,
Mhm.
um, and it has to do with the different estrogen and testosterone receptors in the brain.
Yeah.
Um, and right now for me, I you know it's kind of subjective, but I my experiences with HRT are telling me that this is true, because before I had it, I was terrible. Then when my testosterone went to a certain threshold, everything was amazing and getting better. Even though
Right.
weird things happened with my estrogen, it was better, not great. And then when my testosterone finally went, all the way down, um, things were horrid. Well, not horrid. Things weren't what went started to go downhill, and now they've kind of stabilized a bit. Where I have a
Mhm.
slightly higher normal than what I had before, but it's not nearly as good of a normal. It's not nearly as much of a normal as it was, at one certain point. No, I have had problems with my estrogen going down. My estrogen went down too, so that's
Oh
weird.
wow.
Yeah, my
Right.
estrogen went from 128 to under 40 when
Oh
I started
wow.
hormones. So that's weird.
Is
Um,
everything in the brain not biochemistry?
yeah, pretty much. Oh no, no, no. There's biochemistry, and there's bioelectrical stuff too. So
Yeah.
I thought the chemistry was at the root of that.
I would separate the two.
Fair enough.
I would separate. I mean, you can make, if you look at the power grid, you can make the argument that like the hydroelectric dam, the water is the same. The water is the root of the electricity that I'm using to stream right now. We have a lot of hydroelectric power here in Peterborough. Um, so I would see that as kind of um, the same discussion there.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
Like I said, ignoring and because there is such a huge neurological component, ignoring that does no one any good.
yep, I like to say
Doesn't do you any good. Doesn't do me any good. Doesn't do society as a whole any good.
yeah, I like to say it like this. If someone was to ask me, why do I want big boobs, I would point to this cis woman over there complaining that she's got small boobs and say, well, why does she want big boobs? Right? There's
Exactly.
gotta be there's gotta be there's gotta be a it's not I don't think that's necessarily a social thing. There has gotta be a biological component to that.
Yeah.
And not
Especially
only
for
and
yeah.
I don't just want big boobs. I'm happy with the fact that I have a reasonably well hung non-binary girl dick as well. So um yeah, like and that has nothing to do with that has nothing to do with anything social either. I used to think I was at best average. But it turns out that I'm quite a bit above average. So, yeah, why am I happy? Why am I happy with that? Well, why is that dude over there who's out the same size of me happy with that? It's the same thing. And there are there are actually evolutionary, you know we there are evolutionary reasons to why our genitals are shaped the way they are,
Mhm.
and why
Yep.
why they've evolved to be like this, what some of the functions are, and all of that.
A
You
friend of
know.
mine not too long ago asked me if I know this person very well, so I knew that it wasn't coming from a bad place. But a friend of mine asked me if I thought that non-binary was a real thing, and essentially they called me and just like, uh, be brutally honest with me. Do you think this is real? And I'm like, well, wait, what? I was number one, I was just kind of stunned by the question because this person knows me pretty well.
Mhm.
Um, so I was kind of surprised they didn't already know the answer to that question. But anyway, um, but I was just like, okay, well, I mean, yes. And they're like, okay, all right, can you explain to me like why? And or just like explain to me like what am I missing? And I'm like, okay, all right. So I'm like, do you really want to have this conversation right now? Like, do you have time? They're like, yeah, I do. Okay, okay, cool. So we started talking. They wanted me to start off with just bare bones of like, why I thought the way I thought and what I said. And I'm like, okay, sure. So we started off with that. And then the more questions they started asking, I answered them the best I could. And then I pointed them in the direction of people that could actually answer their questions better than I, because there's only so much I can answer for you. I'm I'm obviously not non-binary, so you know. But and I gave them links to some studies and things like that. But I told them, on top of just the conversation part, if you really want to, I mean, it's your choice, obviously, but if you really want to understand what's going on and learn, quote, what you're missing, as this person put it, I
Yeah.
told them to start with human anatomy and literally psychology and neurology. Like, start with that because you will see a pattern in the studies that everyone else is telling you to read.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Well, I even tell them, talk to non-binary people, right? Uh,
Well, yeah, that's
Here.
that's what I meant by like I pointed them in the
Oh.
direction of people they could talk to.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Here's this podcast. One of the co-hosts is non-binary.
Oh,
Go
they
like and
actually
subscribe.
watched. Yeah, they actually I showed them 3 episodes on your channel. Actually,
Oh, nice.
we watched them together.
Oh,
Um,
I'm
yeah,
I'm I'm super happy that people even watch us
I told you I
when
watch your
we're
channel,
when
like
we're
even
not
when I'm not
live.
there live. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I'm
There
like
were videos that
super.
I'd already seen because I was there.
Yeah.
at least for part of it. And I was like, okay, let me pull this up for you. And yeah, we watched 3 of the episodes together.
I'm just happy anyone watches this at all. I'm serious on that. I
And
am just
to
happy.
quote them, to quote my friend verbatim, that was very helpful. That explains a lot.
Yeah, okay.
So
That's
if you're
great.
wondering if you're making a difference, then the proof is in literally someone that I know. You are
Awesome. That is like absolutely super, like that just hits me right here. I'm serious. That's like
in the field.
that's that that's all the feels. You know, even not just that people are just watching us at all, but like I'm actually helping to make the world a little bit of a better place.
Yeah.
And even if it is kind of, you know, it's for people like me, but um yeah, that is you just made my day. I'm so happy I held on to this stream. Um I'm so
Oh,
happy it came on.
my
Uh
heart.
that's
But no, I mean seriously, it helped me. I was able to talk to them and and tell them my thoughts, but it helped me be able to have something quick instead of them waiting, a week to speak to, somebody that had to make time to speak to them. It gave me instant access to be like, oh, hold on 1 second. I have something. There's something I know on YouTube, and we
yeah.
can watch it. And I think it will answer some of your questions that I can't really answer. And yeah, it was useful and it was helpful for them to watch that and see so many different stories and experiences in one spot.
Yeah,
And
so like what did you do did you do the non-binary one, the transition options one, and those are the two I would have sent them to.
yeah, there was, I know that we watched, well, I don't know if I watched that with her. Yeah, I did. We watched the everyone's like coming out stories,
Okay.
as, yeah, as
So
part of it.
that
But
was
yeah.
just last week's.
Mhm.
Yeah. I liked that. I liked that one. It yeah. Cuz I had the best coming out story. I always have the best coming out story. Well, hey, fuck the speech. I'm not. Fuck the speech. I'm trans. Now I'm going to bed, and I'm also bi, so don't ask. And I took, and I took tomorrow off to go to Pride. Now fuck off. I'm going to sleep. That's the summary. That's the really short and poorly told summary, but that's the summary. Okay. And my coming out was pretty much that on a Facebook post. And then I texted it to my mom, kind of almost verbatim from what the Facebook one was, because
Oh,
she doesn't use Facebook. She kind of does a little bit
I don't use
now.
Facebook.
Um, I use Facebook for like my friends and family stuff.
Yeah.
I use Twitter for like random social media. I use Twitter for social media. I use that for people I more know IRL basically. Um, but and you know a lot of my very little of my family actually lives here in Peterborough, even though most of us started here. Um, so it's what we use to keep in touch, and even a lot of my friends have moved out of town, even if it's only, you know, just to a nearby city. It's just cheaper for her to live there. So
Yeah, I don't have, well, other than act like literal relatives. I don't have anyone in the place I live anymore. It's just me. So it yeah, it kind of sucks. I'm just like, man, I'm one of those people now. Like I'm I'm one of those people that like I only socialize on the internet. Like when did my life get so weird?
I am unfortunately almost there. I was there a lot before I even came out. Like basically turned into an introverted hermit slowly over the last few years.
Yeah.
Until I got on. Yeah, but yeah, that just absolutely. And because my day is made so great, I'm doing great, so you don't need to worry about me. Donate to Doc. Doc needs wheels. You know, throw a little bit in the.
Yeah.
Give us like
us
one
money,
more.
Doc needs
Give
money.
us one more donation. Give us one more donation. Um, just do it. So, I mean, yeah, that was my coming, and then there was the whole thing where I explained the surgery I want to my mom. As I'm keeping my dick and I'm getting a badge. I didn't really say it to her like that, but you know, I was a little more technical with but I'm getting a penis preserving uh vaginoplasty that's a peritoneal pull because she asked and I'm like, okay.
Want to see?
Well, I asked her to go to San Francisco with me, but she's like, none of this surprises me. So yeah, that was kind of like great. Okay, my mom is great. But yeah, like uh you know my mom is, well, she's a United, she's a Christian, but she's United, so they don't count. They're the people who taught me that pure anti-theism is not the way, basically. um
Does she try and make excuses for you?
no, she's the United Church of Canada. Might as well, most of the people who are under like 70 might as well basically be agnostic.
Is that the state church?
They are.
Is that the state church?
No, that's the Anglican Church of England.
I thought you might have another name for it.
That's the church.
Because
No, that's the Church of England. The United Church is it's its own. I think it's the most. It used to be the most popular church, but because they're so like cool and easygoing, and it's like just most of them are becoming atheists now. And they're not making new Christians, so they're kind of dying out, unfortunately. But yeah, we have like six churches, six different congregations here in Peterborough, and like they march at the front of the parade.
Oh.
The thing I always found weird was the rest of the world see her as the Queen of England, and every time I've spoken to people from Canada, they describe her as the Queen of Canada.
She is the Queen of Canada.
But everyone else describes her as the Queen of England, even though she's the Queen of lots of countries.
Yeah, this is true.
She's the Queen of.
Only in Canada they would refer to her as the Queen of Canada.
She's the Queen of Canada. She's the Queen of what is it? Great Britain, Canada, Australia, blah 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 blah.
And a load of other, yeah.
I don't
So-
believe in the Queen. I
You don't believe in it?
Needs to go away. Yeah, no.
Okay, Queen Elizabeth II is pretty cool. It's her heirs who she doesn't seem to want to give her heirs the throne that we're worried about.
The problem is religion.
Oh, the problem is always
Charles isn't a Christian. But he's going to
okay.
become the head of the C of A.
Yeah, yeah, like our state church is whatever the one the queen is the head of, right? So
C of A.
but nobody actually is. Very few people are actually a part of it.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, like most people here are either Christian or are either Catholics or United. So those are the two most common. Unfortunately we have some Baptists. We have two NFI. We have two pumpkin fucker churches here. We have some Pentecostals. We have some Mormons. The Mormons here aren't that bad though. I'll be honest. The Mormons here not as bad as the Mormons in the States, okay? They're more like annoying Mormons than they are like super evil Mormons. We have witnesses, we have
I love the
Amish, we
descriptors.
have
They're
Mennonites.
more annoying Mormons than It's just fucked up Mormons over there in the United States. I
Yeah.
don't know what you people are fucking doing.
Well,
Fucking
my
cult people.
a good friend of mine was married to a Mormon for a while. I kind of have an idea of what's going on with at least some of the Mormons around here. They are way more cool than the stories I hear from the states. That the Jehovah's Witnesses are a little more fundy though. Um, I've had to tell them to fuck off a couple. Actually, I have a friend who back in the '80s she had to like went through they would go through anything to try to get in your door, right? They would pull kids off the street to knock on your door, and they'd hide beside your door, and they would try to
Yeah,
get in with some random kid who they just paid $5 to
I've
knock
heard
on your
about
door.
that.
Um, so they used to be real. They're not quite as annoying now, but they used to be. I'm like, no, no, no. I don't do that. Thank you. Bye. Um,
I really want to talk to a Jehovah's Witness. Like I really do. I'm like waiting eagerly for
yeah.
them to stop by my house so that I can invite them in and we can have a little chat.
Well, here's the thing, right? I don't talk with. Well, while I'm, in the whole atheist community, and while I'm, um, and I'm an atheist, and I watch a lot of atheist content and all of that. The thing is that I was never a theist, right? So I am at a huge disadvantage when arguing certain things, or having any discussions with any more with any devout theists, or with any devout Christians especially, because like the passages I know in the Bible are, and the Lord slew them with great slaughter, and the Lord lost the chariots fitted with iron. So that's about my extent of the knowledge of the Bible. um, and then I just say, if chariots fitted with iron was able to defeat God in personal combat, what's he going to do against a main battle tank? Just plot him over with the tank and be done with it. But yeah, like honestly, hey, that just okay.
Hmm?
Nothing. I just figured out where a D&D spell came from. Um, so yeah, I can't argue with theists because I don't know I don't know the religion, right?
Yeah.
It was the same thing. Like when I went um around a year ago, I went to look up, you know, what this weird non-binary thing actually is, so I could tell non-binary people, to fuck off, and that it's not real. I actually went to go like read up on non-binary.
Mhm.
Um, uh, I went to go and look up what non-binary was so I could actually make an argument against it, because that's how I am. And then it's like, oh wait, no, 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 wait, no, wait, no, let me read a little. Oh no, that's me. Okay, I'm non-binary.
Yeah. Funny, that's
Oops.
how I am too. And while I did not originally, my original intent wasn't, uh, to tell them to like fuck off or that it wasn't real, but my original intent did come from curiosity. Like I saw people fighting like fucking vicious, and I'm just like, what in the hell? Like, why are you drawing blood? Why are you trying to kill each other in the street? Like, what the fuck is going on Twitter? Like, what in the
Yeah.
hell are you people even talking about? I don't, like, I have a vague understanding, but like, I don't, what even is this? Like, I mean, I was raised around like drag queens and stuff, like, what, but what? So I just I started researching from that perspective, just like curiosity about what everyone was so fucking angry about.
Yeah.
And I came away from it going, what the hell? Seriously. This is like I feel like I'm a teenager all over again and people are like, "You're not bi. You're just confused, honey."
Hmm.
And I'm just like, "Oh my god. You're so annoying. Shut up.
Yeah,
Read a book. Read a book."
I mean, like, yeah. It alls I saw was people just being like, I'm non-binary and I'm being an asshole, right? That was my
Yeah.
entire exposure to non-binary people. Literally, that's all I saw. You know, even going to them, that's all I saw. So it's
Yeah.
like, okay, these people are just like being you know, assholes. Um,
Yeah.
I don't, but then I just found out that they're just being assholes and that they're not, and that they're not, but the only people who I was exposed to, which is one of the reasons why I'm so open about being non-binary online. It's like I'm someone who you can I might be a little absurd, um, I'm kind of a goofy person at heart, I guess, but like you
That's
can come
okay.
and if you're coming to me in good faith, I'll talk to you and not
Yeah.
get annoyed and be like, oh, you're asking me evasive questions, right? So
Yeah.
um, uh, it's just like it's just like I'm trying to put a good face forward for non-binary people.
Yeah.
But before that, it's like no, all I see is people yelling. It's like right and not
Well,
explaining anything and just being like fuck you, I'm a dragon, basically.
yeah. I have my own personal theory on why that is. Um, like in my opinion, I so you know how people constantly use the word triggered in a derogatory sense,
Okay.
and that like especially whenever they see someone that's reactionary in any way, it doesn't matter if it's justified or unjustified. When someone's reactionary and angry, shouting from the rooftop whatever it is that they disagree with, you know, they that typically comes out, "Oh, you triggered insert word here." Well, in some ways they're not wrong. I think that when it comes to the reactionary side of things, like the people that actually are reactionaries and acting that way and screaming, yelling, and that's all you see from them, I think that the reason you see that is because in a lot of ways they are they are triggered, they are hurt, they have not fully dealt with a lot of things, and to boot they're being attacked both in real life and online, and that's not helpful, and it only puts you under more stress, so you are more likely to react in a negative way. And here's the thing, to, whenever you choose to lay down a path of activism, especially to something that in your mind you think, okay, well, I can bridge the gap, I can help them understand, or I can make them understand, however it is that the person is speaking to themselves. But whenever you lay down that groundwork of activism, you cannot, well, you can, but if you come at it from a triggered perspective, if you come at it whenever you have not yet dealt with all of the things that are making you angry and that are hurting you, and then you immerse yourself in this world that is hurtful, where you are triggered all the time because everyone is using everything about you against you to attack you, then you do come off a certain way. So in a sense they're right. They are triggered, but at the same time, I can't blame them. And then on the other hand, it's like you can't you can't lead the way in activism when you're still trying to learn how to just be you. So like take some time off, rest, relax, learn your like just do you. Live your life. You don't have to be an activist right now, right here. Like give it some time. But like you can't come at the other side from that mentality. Otherwise, that's what you get is the things that you and I both saw, online and from both sides where people are just screaming bloody murder trying to kill each other.
The problem
Yeah,
is, triggered is now used to shut down the conversation.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I mean, it's a legitimate word. It has a legitimate meaning. Like people get triggered psychologically for a reason. There is a reason behind it, and those triggers need to be addressed and they have to be dealt with. As someone with PTSD, I know this well.
Okay.
So, whenever you, yeah, I think that everyone, I think they want so badly to help that they jump into activism without first addressing them. You know what I mean? Like they haven't even lived yet. They haven't even explored themselves yet before they just dove into the deep end like, okay, I'm going to do activism and I'm going to make the world understand.
Yeah, okay, okay. I guess you're kind of making sense there. It like it's just I think a lot of the people who were doing that to begin with, right, were the kind
Mhm.
were just not the most pleasant people probably to start. Like I am
Oh
not
yeah.
a fan of Ash Hardell. I do not like them at all. Right, and everyone's like, "Oh, Ash is great." No, no, even when they're not being an asshole, they're they're preachy and
Mhm.
like they're just preachy and annoying. Um,
Yeah.
so from what I've seen of them for like 2 videos I watched of them,
Yeah.
right?
I was just going to
So
say I have to admit that I haven't seen Ash in years literally. Like it's
okay,
been a long time since I've seen Ash.
yeah, it's been like a year, and I'm like, okay, I don't like this person. um,
Yeah.
even though that was after um all this stuff, but like yeah, I don't know, I just didn't I just no one was I it's more that no one was giving me a clear idea of what non-binary was,
Mhm.
right, and it's like
Yeah.
this isn't making any sort of sense. You're not explaining it. It must be bunk. I'm going to look it up so I can like tell you it's bunk. And
Right.
then I am, and it's like, oh, okay. I like to think that I would have been that I would have understood it if I was just a binary trans woman, or if I was like a cis dude, or whatever. I
Mhm.
like to think that I probably still would have been like, oh, okay, no, this is this is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
um, so yeah, but that's it. That's all it really is. But
Yeah. Like I don't know if this was your experience too, but for me, I saw these people in, video format, and then I saw them having either public video fights or public Twitter wars that were very aggressive and also completely anti everything they were stating in their videos. And so it was even more like, whoa, what? It was
yeah,
even more confusing because of that, which is why I said that, like, just live, like, just do you. You don't have to jump head first and 20 feet
yeah,
in. Like,
yeah. Okay.
Right, I need to run away.
All right.
So I will
Okay.
probably pop into the chat before I go to bed, and I will see everyone tomorrow.
Okay, bye. Thanks for coming in.
That's okay.
All
I've been
right.
very
Have a
quiet.
good night, Cripple.
Night night.
Um, yeah, but like, I don't know. I don't know. I am just, it took me some time to really get, or it just took me to, because I thought, I wasn't doing it non-binary or anything. Um, so there's all of that. It's yeah, it's just a simple. I didn't know what it was, and people were not making any sense, and just being assholes. So that's that
Mm-hmm.
that. Once I learned what it was, I'm like, okay, oh, I'm this. Yep, okay, now I get it. Um,
I'm this. Okay, now I get it.
yeah, exactly. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and like bigender was like the second one in
Mm-hmm.
too, right? So, um, yeah, uh, ugh, like, yeah, I don't know. It's just a weird thing, but yeah, I looked it up. I guess we were talking about religion before that, but yeah, I'm still utterly humbled that like we have that people are going back and watching these when we're not even live, and getting using this as a resource for helping people to learn about us. So that is great. Thank you with every amount of thinking I can have.
Oh.
that's that's that's
Well,
a big
hey,
part of why I'm doing this anyways.
when I
Oh,
find something that helps me help somebody else, then win-win. Like, okay,
yeah,
here, go to this thing,
exactly.
check it out.
And I'm sorry for being like whistly or whatever. um
For what?
I was being whistly. Now I can't do it.
Uh, I I
I,
don't
I
know
think I've
what
just
it
been
is.
okay. I think I've just been talking a lot. um
Yeah, you're fine. Uh, my dumb ass my brain needs to shut off and go to sleep. I don't know what is wrong with me. I don't know why I'm still awake, but holy shit, this is
um
nuts.
yeah. Yeah, I need to go and get food. So it looks like it might die here. I'm just seeing if anyone wants to take this over. Anyone at all?
Yes, it's kind of important. Yeah, the group is obviously if anybody wants to do anything, the group is still there and active on the Twitter.
Not
So
really.
if you decide, well, I mean it's still open.
Yeah, it's still
Uh,
open.
so if anybody wants to post things, people will see it. And if somebody just decides they want to go live, an hour from now, just because, well, then
Mhm.
just go ahead and pick it up anyway. Just
Yeah.
post it in the group. We'll see it. People will join, share it. We'll see it.
Yeah.
And
Well, the most important thing. Okay, first off, the most important thing is donate to Doc. That's why we're
yeah,
doing this. Donate to Doc. Get Doc some wheels. The second most important thing is like this video, share it, get other people to watch it, and to
yeah,
get your friends and your family and your ex-wives and or whatever you will call your significant other, and all of that. Get all of them to donate and watch and share it and all that, and also get them to subscribe and watch our backlog, especially if they're transphobic, so they can just see that we're you know normal people just trying to get along in our
yeah.
daily lives.
Just people
Here,
like the
um
rest of you.
yeah, it yeah, just trying to get along, and be happy with ourselves and all that. But really, honestly, um, yeah, like, comment, subscribe, donate, give Doc money. Uh,
Yes, and
um,
share his links, please.
Share the
Share
links.
his GoFundMe, share his PayPal everywhere you can if you haven't already. If
Yeah,
you already have, awesome. I love you.
if
You
you
are
already
awesome.
have, do it again. Even if you did it just a
Yes.
couple of seconds ago, do it again. Do it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Do it somewhere else. Do it in another place. Tag your friends, tag your family, tag your ex partners.
Yes.
Um, all of that stuff. Send send it to your. Well, I don't want you to send it that.
Instagram, Snapchat, I don't know. Any
Facebook,
platform you use.
Twitter, all that, and yeah, like that, and second most importantly, sub to my channel and watch my videos. And Jenny's, this is we've been very clear because of certain other things that have been going on in certain communities that we're both a part of. This is both very much our both of our channels. So we're doing gun. If you're interested, tune in on this Sunday. Well, we're hoping for this Sunday date, but we might have to have people with other time. It might be like Friday or Saturday or something, depending on our guests. But keep an eye open for that. This weekend, we're doing a discussion on gun control. Actually, um,
Yes.
Jenny and I. Well, Jenny
I'm
is
so excited.
Australian. Yeah, Jenny's Australian. I'm Canadian. We're going to try to get Jay from End the Conspiracy in, and maybe a couple of other people. I might actually try to get Alexis in. We were on her podcast a while back, so she can come on ours, but she's always working on Sunday. So I'll have to talk to Jenny about that. But we're gonna have
Yeah, I told
a bunch
Jenny
of.
that I would. She asked if anybody was interested, and I was like, me. She's like, oh really? I was
Okay,
like, yeah. And so
awesome.
yeah, I'll be there as long as I'm well. I plan on being there.
Okay, excellent. Um, so yeah, we're gonna have Yanks, we're gonna have Aussies, we're gonna have Canadians, we might have maybe a Brit or something, and we're going to talk about. Well, I am for the complete banning of firearms, with the exception of one, the military, and two, the like a small, well trained, like, firearm police squad per department, and that's it. And I would also make ammunition highly illegal. So that even if you have guns and you have ammunition, you don't know when your next ammunition is going to get to you, and people have tried to say stuff like, well, prohibition didn't stop alcohol, but I can make alcohol in my bathtub. I don't actually have a
Yeah.
bathtub, but I could make alcohol in my bathtub if I had a bathtub. I could not make alcohol, or I could make not make a gun in my bathtub, or in my
Yeah.
apartment at all. Well, I could. It wouldn't be a gun though, and it
Right.
wouldn't be a very useful weapon. I
While I
have.
can make a compelling argument for uh, like your stance, I definitely have a little bit of a different take.
Yeah.
And like I wouldn't be opposed to that happening in all honesty. Like I really wouldn't as far as myself goes. But America has this weird I I don't pretend to understand it any more than anyone outside of the US does because I really don't. But America has this strange obsession with the symbolism of its firearms. And
Hmm.
okay, whatever. If you want to hold on to that, that's cool. But at the very least, you should have to have a license. You should have mandatory training. You should have mandatory safety classes. You should have mandatory background checks, etc. The list goes on. get a license just like you would a car before you would ever even be considered to be given a weapon.
Yeah, I mean my I well, I'll tell this. I'll just touch on this a little bit, but I lived in Toronto from, like I said, from 2005 to 2007,
Mm,
and you know, I was in college. I was going back and forth from Peterborough on the Greyhound. Um, so on or yeah, on Boxing Day 2006, um, I no, not 2000. Boxing Day 2005, I was, you know, going to the Greyhound bus station, which is near the Eaton Center. Um, yeah, just to get on the bus, go home, see my family for, you know, a couple of weeks. When I'm not doing school and stuff, and when they're you know, when they can have company over. Um,
mm,
and a gang firefight broke out right in front of the Eaton Center. We're talking downtown Toronto. You know, the longest and one of the most busiest streets in on the continent. And basically, you know, it was over. So it turned out it was over something stupid like a hat as well. Um, but two sides started opening fire. Uh, they hit
oh
a
my God.
they hit a TTC bus, and a 16-year-old girl was killed on this bus driving through it. And I
Mm,
was, I didn't know the, you know, I realized what was going on, and I fucked off out of there real quick. And it was only, you know, later on, when I was back home in Peterborough, um, I think probably a couple of days later, when I had actually heard that the 16-year-old girl died. Um, and that, you know, before I didn't care about guns one way or the other. But after having experienced that, knowing that someone who wasn't even, not only wasn't part of the was part of the firefight, was just on a bus, just on a city bus, and had nothing, less than nothing to do with it, was killed. Um, like that was that completely changed my outlook on
absolutely.
it.
Yeah.
Um, so that's where, you know, that's where I'm coming from, and that's why I argue with like Antifa people, as well, who just want to do nothing but be. I say that they're nothing but violent vigilantes who just want to be violence for violence sake. Um, because, you know, they're that's the path I see them heading down. Not on their instigation, but, you know, on the fucking crazy right wing gun nut Americans end, right? We've
Yeah.
seen people who have said, you know, oh well, I if I'm going to get milkshake, I'm going to start carrying. You know, I'm going to get an open carry
Yeah.
license, and I'm going to start shooting at people, right? We've seen
Right. We've
the
seen people try to escalate things
yes,
to
we've seen the
literally have an excuse to justifiably shoot someone, like the straight
the
pride parade
Yep.
situation.
Well, it was the pumpkin fuckers, right? It was
Yeah.
the massa
Yeah.
thing. I was about to bring that up,
Hmm.
where, you know, Florida has stand your ground laws, and they
Yeah.
wanted someone to escalate so that they
Yeah.
could legally kill gays. I won't use the
Yeah.
language that they use, so that they can legally shoot gay people. Just because they don't like gay people. Uh, right? And they wanted it to escalate so that
Yeah.
uh they could do it.
Yeah.
Um, and, you know, they're that is what it's going to escalate to in the end. And people are, and, you know, you know what, if Antifa people want to go and start that shit and get themselves shot, I don't care. You're starting something. But, like, it's the, you know, it's it's the innocent bystanders who Antifa
Right.
has, who a lot of people who are affiliated or with Antifa or use it or however they want to say it have admitted that they don't care about bystanders as long as they get some of the bad guys. They don't care about collateral damage. They've told me this, right? People have
Yeah.
told me that they don't care if they get a couple of people who aren't Nazis, as long as they get the Nazis. They don't care. They don't even care if they get each other. Um, they're
Yeah.
fucking
And I
disgusting.
definitely have a problem with that. Like
Yeah,
anybody spouting that, I
exactly.
absolutely have a problem with that. That is not okay in my book in any shape, way, or form. And yeah, I would absolutely fight against and definitely argue against anybody spouting that shit. Because
Exactly. And
that is
then
not acceptable.
it's just vigilantism, and they're going to get innocent bystanders uh, assaulted.
Hmm.
Well, they have gotten innocent bystanders assaulted by them. We're going on a Nazi hunt. Oh, look, these people must be Nazis. They're Jewish.
Yeah.
Like
And
that's why I get pissed off at them for being like, oh, we're revolutionary, no, violent people. No, you're not. You're political vigilantes. Please stop. You're going to get your. Well, I don't care if you get yourselves killed, but you're going to get people who have nothing to do with it killed. And then they'll say, "Oh
yeah.
no, but no, 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 no. We're they're not innocent. We're protecting them or some bullshit like that." They've said to me before.
Yeah.
That it
Well,
just
there are like sects of, and if you and Jenny want it, I mean, it's kind of up to you guys because it's your stream, but we could easily work this into the gun conversation.
yeah.
But
Well, I'm gonna ask. I don't know if you know her on Twitter, but we've been on our show and it's kind of a awesome, lighthearted show. We're going to ask. I'm going to ask Alexis Filth. That's her name on Twitter. To come on. You know, I'm okay with her carrying, right? Because she's
yeah,
carrying because other people are carrying, and she doesn't. And being a trans woman in a very homophobic or
yeah, I
well,
would
homophobic
totally,
and transphobic place, and
yeah.
she's non-binary too, and
Oh
her
my gosh.
husband is trans.
Oh my god.
So being who she is in a place like that, like
Mm.
I don't hold her for carrying. She should I would say that she shouldn't have to
Right.
like feel like
That
she
would be my argument too.
right?
She shouldn't have
And
to.
when I hear about people who, in the states who are like, oh, casually, oh yeah, I have a shotgun just in case someone tries to, break in my apartment or whatever. It's like I am fucking terrified of the United States because of their guns,
Yeah.
right?
I
It's
mean,
like,
the yeah. The problem is that like
but I want to ask her if she wants to come on, as long as it's not our normal 8 p.m. Sunday time slot because she's actually at work then.
mm, gotcha. But yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, the US has a lot of very fucked up mentalities, and it's clinging to gun culture for whatever reason. It's always been that way. It just has, and it's weird. I don't get it, but I see it, and I was raised in it. All of my family are, you know, big on guns. Um, it's a strange thing, and I have my own, you know, my own stories and my own personal experiences with guns and how they've affected my life, which I will get into on that stream. But yeah, the U.S. is we have a very weird, warped, in my opinion, mentality when it comes to guns and when it comes to your quote right to guns. I don't think that anyone has a right to guns. I think that they are a privilege, not a fucking right.
Yeah, exactly. They're not. Um, and like I don't know, that my I've come to understand that basically the United States has a culture of violence, and a lot of people in the United States can't do anything without using violence to solve their problems, no matter what side of
That's
the
true.
political spectrum they're on. Like
That's true.
just using words to solve your problems is not an option
Mhm.
with Americans, and that's very alien to me. I was taught that you should only use violence as an absolute, very absolute last
Mhm.
resort. Um,
And that's how I was raised.
you know,
Even though I was obviously I was raised in America, even though the society around me reflects something different, my parents and primarily my father, who was a gun owner, um, he instilled the fear of, I want to say God, but I didn't believe in God. He instilled, just the fear of the world into me regarding the gun that he owned.
yeah,
You don't fucking touch it. You don't even look at it until I or a professional train you in how to pick it up and handle it and fire it, etc.
yeah,
There, you do not touch a gun unless you are prepared for someone to die, because that is what it means to
yeah.
carry a weapon. You are asking for someone to die.
Well, I've fired gun like I was in cadets. I fired a Lee Enfield. Um, and I also I have I know people who hunt, right? So I
Yeah.
fired, I fired, a 22 bolt action. I fired a 12 gauge double barrel. I've fired a 12 gauge pump. I've fired a 420. Um, I fired a few. I fired quite a few guns, right? And I understand that if you're pointing this at something a lot that's alive, you should be pointing at it with the intent to kill it, right?
Right.
Because that's what the thing
Or
is
at least
designed to
be
do.
prepared for that to be the end result.
Yeah, something
Like,
like that.
like
Um,
that should be in the forefront of your mind. The second I pick this up, someone could die. It could be the other person, but it could also be me, or it could be someone else.
yeah,
That's the reality. And like I said, I'll get into the details of my story and background a little bit whenever we have that stream. But I think my dad did the right thing, the way that he raised us, and he definitely raised me to not be violent.
yeah,
Like he wanted, his answer, diplomacy.
yeah, exactly.
Obviously, if
And
someone breaks into your house trying to assault or murder you in some way, then of course, fucking kill that fucker. Make sure they're dead before you leave their body. But in the meantime, diplomacy.
yeah, I mean um uh like um like my mom has I think she's got a couple of rifles now. She used to use a crossbow to hunt, but she uses rifles. And her boyfriend does, and I have an uncle who's a gun collector, right? But
Mhm.
I don't even know if my uncle has ammo in his house. Um and I don't and I know that my mom is very um what's the word I'm looking for, careful with her gun. Well, my mom, my grandpa on my mom's side was in the military. He was a tank commander actually in the Canadian Army. And he also worked after he retired from the army. He also worked for Brinks as a as an armored car uh, guard for like cash pickups and
Oh,
stuff. And
wow.
he
Okay.
also the coolest thing I think is that he also was when he was the leader of the opposition, not the prime minister, but he was the bodyguard for um, Prime Minister Chrétien before he was prime minister. Um, uh, while the FLQ, which is basically a francophone terrorist organization that we had problems with for a while. Um, well, they were, causing shit in the 80s. So he had a service revolver, or he had a revolver in the house, in until he passed away, in 2008. Um,
Mhm.
right. So he taught, he put the respect for that in my mom and her siblings, my aunts and uncles, and my other grandfather was in the armed forces. He spent much of World War II in Wales, and then on the 7th of June he went ashore at Juno Beach, and he came back with 15 bullet holes in him. And then he retired as a protest to the Suez Canal incident. I think that was in the 70s, was it? At some point. So so yeah, but I also have uncles and cousins in the forces still, right? Well, no, my uncle who was in the forces retired. I have one cousin who's active in the Navy. I think he's at sea on HMCS Calgary right now. So my family has a good understanding of gun safety, because
Mhm.
they're we have. I would be in the Navy if my body wasn't utter shit.
Yeah.
Or I would have
That.
in the mid 2000s.
Yeah. That's the
Um,
perspective that my father came from too. Was he served in the military. He was in Vietnam. My uncle served in Vietnam. Um,
exactly.
we have a lot of military people in my family, and
Yeah. I believe my grandma on my mom's side was in the military too as a nurse. So
that's
um,
awesome.
they're very military family. And both my parents were in Sea Cadets. My dad actually went to summer camp on HMCS Haida twice, which is really cool. And I've been on HMCS Haida because she's a museum ship now in Hamilton. Um,
Oh,
so like um, like I said, I would still rather them not have the guns, but at least they understand, what a gun is and how dangerous a gun is,
mm-hmm.
and all
Yeah,
of that
because the
stuff.
military is taught exactly what you and I just both described in our own way.
Yeah,
They are taught to respect that weapon as a weapon of death, and to respect the fact that when you pick it up, you better be prepared to shoot. You better be prepared for death.
yeah. Don't point it at anything alive unless you intend that thing to die.
Right.
That's what
Exactly.
was told to me.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah. So yeah, it's like it's but in the United States, it's an entirely different thing. It's a culture of violence. It's a culture of guns. It's a culture of lawlessness. People want to. There are people who want to go back to the 1800s. Um,
Oh yeah.
and
They're
and
attached to this thing that never existed. Like it's for a lot of people it really is symbolism. And it's symbolism in all the wrong ways. Like
yeah.
they think it symbolizes freedom and it's like what the fuck? No. No.
Oh yeah.
No.
I don't know if we'll actually get to touch on this one or not, but there's the whole tyrant bullshit argument, right? Like, oh, but we
Yeah.
need our guns in case the government tries
Yes.
to
Right.
what is your gun going to do against an M1 main battle tank?
Right? Thank
What is your
you. The
No,
military can
what is
wipe your
your
ass out without any guns, my dear. They don't need guns. They have drones. They have tanks. They can fucking nuke you out your house, okay? They don't care
yeah?
about your stupid guns.
They can shoot
Get
at you
over it.
from 15 kilometers offshore. Sorry,
Mhm.
15 miles offshore from a boat. What are you going to do with an assault rifle? You know what? They don't even need to. They don't even need to fire one shot from anything. All they need to do, let's say there's a bunch of people who take over a city, right? Because they think the
Mhm.
government's being tyrannical or some bullshit. You know what? We'll assume that the government is being tyrannical, just so we don't even have to worry about that. You know what's going to happen? They're not going to go in and they're not going to start like shooting up people and stuff like that. They don't want to do that. What they're going to do is they're going to blockade the city. They're going to shut off all the
Mhm.
water. They're going to shut off all the power. They're going to stop any food from coming in and coming out. It's it it,
Mhm.
it it's millennia
Lockdown.
old. It's more than 2,000-year old siege tactics.
Mhm.
They're just gonna cut off all your supplies, and use standoff weapons to keep you
Yep.
scared in the city until you surrender or die of starvation and or thirst and or disease. Like
Mhm.
like they
And if
can
you become too big of a problem, all they have to do is the exact same thing. Make sure you're locked in and can't get out, and then drone strike your ass. And
not
the
even no
city
you
just
you
lay the city to waste, and
you don't even.
everybody's dead.
Well, a drone strikes would not actually be good for that. If they were going to do that, they'd use a B-52. And if they start calling
Yeah.
in B-52s, then there's literally nothing you can do because they fly at an altitude of something like 45,000 feet.
Yeah.
But that's still not even the point. They don't need to even fire a shot. You will eventually run out of food. You know,
Right.
I am kind of a I under like I am kind of an amateur military historian, right? Like I understand how, you know, they used to lay siege to cities in the medieval era, and it's the exact same thing that I would use, literally the exact same principles that I would use in laying siege, in dealing with that. And the American military, as much as people like to make fun of them for being stupid, they really aren't. Just they have some incompetent people in it, but
Right.
generally speaking, the generals and the admirals are very are usually, especially the top ones, are usually very very competent people. Um,
Mhm.
like you're going to have people who, but you can just you can just lay siege, and laying siege does not mean that you're shelling the city or anything, right? uh,
Yeah.
you don't need to fire a shot to use siege warfare.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Absolutely.
it's just depriving the other belligerent of the ability to make war. And then
Mhm.
once once they're too sick, thirsty, and hungry to be able to carry on, you can go in and arrest them all without anyone firing a shot if
Yeah.
they're not already
Like
starved
just to.
and dehydrated to death. I mean, it's
Oh yeah.
and people are like,
Absolutely.
but no, our guns are going to protect us from this. It's like,
I
how?
know your revolver is gonna protect you. Your
You're
shotgun's gonna protect you. Okay, yeah, right.
yeah,
Whatever. But
yeah.
just to add, like an extra element of craziness to this, is the fact that, oh my God, the U.S. is the way that we have this culture of infantilism. Like, we have kept our nation and keep our citizens so infantile that, that's one of many reasons that US constantly votes against its own best interest, because people say they want freedom, but in reality the majority really don't. They want someone to tell them what to do, when to do it, how to do it, where to do it, etc. They want someone in charge of them because they don't know what the fuck to do. They don't want to have to make decisions. They don't know how.
Okay, that's kind of scary. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
And like
troubling.
I'll get more into detail with that, at the right time. But it's a whole nother element to that topic that makes it even, like you said, more scary and worse.
Yeah.
Like it just uh
Let's see here. The United States of America is the Dunning-Kruger capital of the world.
I can't really argue with that, so I won't. I can't argue with that.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's I mean, there's lots of
Mhm.
Americans who aren't nearly as bad as I'm making Americans out to be. A lot of really cool people, but I mean,
Oh,
there's a lot of
absolutely.
really, 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 really just you know, like
They're
just
like
there isn't
lost
a
children.
Dunning Kruger poster child in the United States. You need a collage.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of it is religion is actually the root of the problem. To be entirely honest, that religion
I
the root of the
100%
problem.
do believe that that plays a large role. Yes.
Yeah,
I think that there are many things that go into it, but I absolutely do think that our religious zealotry a- absolutely plays a role in that.
yeah. Oh yeah. There's multiple factors to everything, but the root of the problem, and I've said this before in a stream yesterday. The root of the problem is that uh, like the thing that religion does is it removes your ability to think critically, and it
Yep.
makes you susceptible to being it makes it so
Indoctrinated.
that it makes it so that you
Don't question it.
are unable to question authority. It takes
Mhm.
that ability away from you. That is what that is what I've seen of religion. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, there's no one. Yeah, I'm just seeing.
What's up?
I'm just seeing if there's anyone who's going to take over
Um,
or
I think we'll probably have, a little bit of a lull just because everyone is tired, everyone is hungry, like everyone is something, like it has some level of exhaustion going on. And so, I don't think it'll be long, like probably within an hour or two, somebody else will probably start a stream. But I think that everybody's just so like burnt out and tired from both running the streams and then participating in all the streams that they aren't running that we've just kind of reached like my state of existence going on right here with I got like drool coming down my face and I'm just
oh
like can't even think properly. Like I'm lucky if I can get my brains. I'm surprised I was able to even halfway have a cohesive conversation, especially the last like 30 minutes of what we've been talking about. But my brain is so like blah.
yeah, a bunch of people have seen me asking if anyone wants to take it, and nobody's even responded. So I think it's gonna. I unfortunately think this is gonna be the end because I have to eat.
Yeah.
Because I have to
It
go to
won't be
work
the
tomorrow.
end. It's just a pause.
The end of the streak.
Yeah.
The end of the end of the whole
And
thing.
then as soon as I get an app, I will be back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
And we're going to get more money and more people and
Yep.
dual streaming, and it's going to be on fire and lit, and I'm going to get dirty and raunchy, and I'm going to bring out my bratty playful side, and we're going to have some fun. So yeah.
What's that? We're going to get we're going to get dirty.
Oh yeah.
We've got this. I don't even use it. Maybe I'll use it when I get a badge.
It's nice just to have on display, you know, to just to whip out, like you did just there, like, we're gonna get dirty, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, I have that
That's right.
that one's my favorite one. I have two drawers of these things because I've been trying to find one I like. Um I've been trying to find one I like, and I just haven't. So I kind of given up on that. Uh, and then and then someone's like, "Oh, by the way, you can have asshole." By the way, you can have both. I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's what I need." But yeah, we got that train rolling now. With my doctor. She's looking into that doctor, and at the very least, that's good. I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
go to a gender counselor and and possibly a psychiatrist. I'm hoping we can be like, okay, look, we don't necessarily require
Mhm.
Montreal doesn't require this. Can we do this? But yeah. Anyways, I don't want to go on another tangent. I really got to eat. I really got to, do a couple of things. So that I can go to bed properly, so that I can, go to work and pay my internet bill. So I can keep doing stuff like this. So,
Yeah,
sub to
that's
nuance
important.
nonsense and give Doc money. Those are the two most important things in the opposite order
Yeah.
right now. The most important thing that we need to take away from this entire discussion is give Doc
Give Doc
money.
money.
The second most important thing we need to understand from this discussion is subscribe to Nuance Nonsense and click the bell and like this and share this and all that stuff that it's been proven that we don't need to say,
Yeah.
uh, because people.
And if you're not already subbed to me, become my sub. Do it now.
Oh,
Thank
okay, yeah, go sub to Silver too,
you.
but sub to us first because you're already here, and us is
Exactly.
Jenny and I, because it's Jenny's channel too, and then yeah, and the third thing is wow, people watch this show and so like I said, that absolutely that energized me and made my day. So I gotta say thank you again.
Oh,
Like
well, I'm glad.
I'm gonna.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, people, a couple of people have told me it's helped them, but really hearing it is just just amazing. So thank you. All right, that is it for the stream. As soon as I find my thing, so yeah,
Much
do all
love,
this
chat.
stuff. Thanks for watching. Donate, sub, blah 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 blah. Have a good one. Eh?